Good evening, Star Child, Shish, User 125, Bahama Mama, everybody, Deborah. Welcome to the show. This is the Commander Paloma, Deborah, Hector, users 264, Hobart, Bishop Hobart, Stephen, everyone out there, Jim Hall, all the new people, all the regular viewers, Jade, all the people out there, wherever you are. You're watching the number one spiritual UFO talk show with your host, the CmdrAleon. And today, on Father's Day, we went to the beach. Yes, indeed. Here in Connecticut, we went to a place called Hammonasset, and we had a great time at the beach. Yeah, it's a very rejuvenating thing, you know. We didn't go into the water, but we just, were just relaxing on the beach. Hey, Lenora, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Flatman B, we don't get into the Earth except to tell you that the Earth is not flat, nor is any other planet flat, wherever you're believing that system. Thank you, Flatman B. The Earth is not flat. All planets are either round or oval, but they're not flat. Do I believe in God? Of course I do. Do you? All the planet, every star person from other planetary systems believes in God. It's not just an Earth belief. It's something that is understood throughout the universe. God, yeah. Yep. The space people from other planetary worlds believe in God just as I would believe in God. Why wouldn't you believe in God? God created the whole multiverse, every planet, every solar system. No, I'm not. I don't believe in Earth-based systems. That's an Earth-based thing. Are you conservative? Are you a box? Are you round? Are you purple? Are you blue? Are you green? No, we're from outer space, man. Use the 221 or 211. We're from Mars originally. We came here on a mission to Earth to bust the matrix, including people's beliefs in politics, religion, and every other thing that you believe in on this planet, Yeah, I said Earth is oval. I absolutely just said that. The Earth is round, or some planets might be what we call oval, okay? But the Earth and other planetary systems are not flat. There's no such thing as a flat planet. It doesn't exist. The only reason it exists is people have belief systems on here that I've seen, people hitting each other over the head, arguing about the Earth. Forget about it. All the planetary systems in every solar system are either round or they are oval, but they're not flat. So if you're new to the show and I say, oh, all planets are round or oval, and you believe it's flat, I'm going to bust your matrix because no planet is flat. It doesn't exist that way. Just so you know, hey, for all relatives, happy Father's Day to you too. Many blessings to everybody out there. Welcome to the show. And we had a great time in the sun. We saw some weird stuff going on today. We saw a military vessel on the Long Island Sound come in towards the shoreline, and then it started spinning around. It was a pretty big vessel. It was turning in circles and it was doing some weird stuff, and I took some photos of it, and I got the photos. I mean, it could be, it was a military vessel, but it was very strange to see a military vessel. It was out far enough, but it was really close to the shoreline where people were in the water swimming. It was just pretty bizarre. Anyway, that was one of the more interesting things that happened today. One of the other interesting things that happened today, on the way home, I got a picture of a ship. Queen of the Stars, welcome to the show. I got my daughter was driving the car and I was in the passenger seat, and I said, wait a minute. And luckily I was able to get a picture of the spaceship that was cloaked. This is the second time I've in a few weeks have taken a picture of a cloaked spaceship. You'll see when you see this picture, it's not a lenticular cloud, but I'll show you the picture in a little bit. It's pretty amazing. When I see the cloaked spaceships, I get a picture. And I felt like I was at the beach today. I was looking for ships in the sky, the Astro ships, and they cloaked spaceships. I didn't see anything at the beach, which is, but as I was going back up in the inner part of Connecticut where I was heading back away from the shoreline. When I got to this one area, about 2 towns away from my town, all of a sudden I see this huge ship cloaked, and I said, man, I got to get a picture of this thing. And it was pretty cool, you know. Nature's Whispers, I see, hey, Nature's Whispers all over. Yeah, I, over the years, have photographed cloaked spaceships quite a bit. My nephew said he swore to God he's seen a mothership in the sky, and Melody probably did. He probably did see a mothership. Hey, Chris. Over the largest radio communication property in station Long Island. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Jersey for Life. Melody says he said he tried to take pictures of it and they wouldn't let him take a picture. Interesting. Yeah, sometimes that happens. You want to take a picture of the mothership, and sometimes they'll telepathically communicate with you, and they don't want you taking the photo for whatever reason. Louisiana Bayou Baby, welcome to the show. They told me to leave my phone. Interesting. I'm reading some interesting comments here. You're watching Encounters. Hey, you're welcome. Let me see here. Definitely have to check that. I've been doing a lot of stuff here. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Let's see. Let me see here. Yeah, the one time I woke up and saw a UFO after the intense feeling to look outside. Hey, T Prada One, welcome to the show. That you've actually, however you found us, we are the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on all of the social media, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, Facebook. This is where it's at. And I'm also a talk show host for 21 years on WESU-FM with the Cosmic Eye radio show, an Astro Command radio show for 21 years. So for the new people, just to give you background, I'm from Mars. I'm a contactee, and I'm also the host of this show, Encounters. So we're glad to have you all with us. And of course, I got a thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you so much for the galaxy, Beth K. Thank you. It's a blessing. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Thank you, Cindy Lou. Thank you for the hanging light. We appreciate that too. You're also a blessing. I really appreciate that. The heart. Thank you for the heart, Sonja. Thank you for the heart. Let's see. Hey, photos, please. So weirdos like Troy. We'll show you the picture of the spaceship in just a little bit. I'm going to show people when I take pictures. And again, I'm outside. I can stand outside and take the picture. I had to really, as we're driving on this country road, I had to really get open space to get the picture. But I got the picture, so I'll show everybody the picture of what I got. And this is, if you're not familiar so much with how this works, that's why when I posted the picture a couple hours ago on here, I made it very clear that it wasn't a lenticular cloud. I know what lenticular clouds are. I know what clouds are. When you see this, you will see that it is definitely a cloaked spaceship. And underneath it, you'll see what appears to be 2 other cloaked ships that are way smaller in the picture. And you'll see this very clearly. Now, in the sky, it was the only thing there. Later on in the afternoon, there were other types of what we call lenticular type clouds. But this thing was all by itself. So I will definitely show this picture in a few minutes. I can get some screenshots of it if you want to see the ship. Yeah, we'd love to see it, Nature's Whisper. Misa Garcia, thanks for the follow. We appreciate that, Deborah. Good to see you. Beth K, thank you for the superpower. Tech wants driver ID. TikTok wants driver ID or passports to receive and exchange gifts. Not that I'm aware of. I don't know about anything like that. That's pretty weird. Hey, Shelbell, good to have you with us. Good to see everybody here. So let me show you the picture. And we do interviews on the show just for new people. If you are over 18, if you are over 18, you can join us. No kids can go on the screen. No smoking, no drinking, no people drunk or on drugs or whatever. Also, I will also say no paranormal discussion. We're very focused on the spiritual aspects of ufology in terms of people that have been visited, contactees, meaning that you're having direct contact with the star people, fairies, Bigfoot, mer people, could be crop circles. We get into all the galactic cosmic things here. We don't talk about anything paranormal. There are 10,000 other places for that type of discussion. Let me show you the picture of the ship, and we'll go back to the screen here in a minute. And here you'll see I took a few photos, and this is driving. This is, let's see if I can do this here. All right. And if you look here, I mean, again, I'm trying to get the picture as the car is moving. And this is all by itself, blue skies. This thing is like right here. I'm saying, wait a minute, I got to get the camera out. I'm moving in a car. I had to put the window down to get the picture, so there wasn't any reflection. So this is one of the pictures. I took a couple photos. This here is a cloaked large spaceship, not a lenticular cloud. I'm very well versed in when I've done this stuff for years. Below it, you can see two other objects that are cloaked right below the big object. And if you look, you can see them right there coming out of the big object below it. The bigger part is the radiant light of energy coming from the cloaked ship. This is my first photo. I'm going to show you each photo that I took. And again, I'm in a moving vehicle in the back passenger seat. Okay? And here's another picture. So let's see if this comes up. Am I doing this one? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Yeah. Here's another picture. There's a greenhouse here. I got this picture as I was driving. I waited for more clarity. Here's another picture of the ship again. You can see the formation of the cloaked area, and you can see more defined the 2 or 3 little ships that are also cloaked below it on that one. I'm going to show you all the photos. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this here. Here's another picture. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know where I was at the point. There's like a couple of signs here. I was near a traffic light going away from where we were, but let me see here. Give me a moment. I'm going to do this again. Let me see here. Oh yeah. You can see the formation changing. Let me go here. And here's another picture as we're driving. I don't know where we were here. We had an open area. And there's a tree in front of it, but you can see the craft right here. I'll show you all the pictures. Again, this is in Durham, Connecticut. This is actually this is Durham, Connecticut, right here. And here's another picture, and here's another picture here. Again, I tried to get as many photos as I could, but again, you're driving in a car, and I took the pictures as quickly as I could on this. So let me just go back. So 457. So I want to explain something to you because I've been involved with this for years. You're seeing a cloaked spaceship, and what we call, some people might say cloud ship, but it's a cloaked spaceship. The energy field is around it. The difference between this and a cloud will be a big fluffy thing that looks like a fluffy cloud. This is not a fluffy cloud at all. This is actually a spaceship. And there are two little ships, actually three, that are actually cloaked. The whole thing is cloaked. Yeah, Natureswhispers, we're gonna bring you up in just a moment. Max Underwood says, I have seen multiple Dorito-shaped crafts out in Arkansas. Just a coworker gave me a book on TRB3. TY, good evening. Let me see here. Victory of the Light Meaning. Let's see, Janny, I think Jenny, you're asking me Victory of the Light Meaning. I'm not sure. Not yet, Queen of the Stars. We will be going within the next few months. I'm pretty sure we'll be going on the ship. I'm going to go back to my original, but this is my latest photo. I took this afternoon. It was like after probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the way home. My daughter was driving, and I was sitting in the back seat and saw the ship, and I had to take pictures as we were moving. Normally, I'd like to, get out and take the picture when I'm standing. But I did pretty good considering we're in a moving vehicle. I caught the picture in open spaces as we were moving, and that's what you're seeing. This is one of the ships of the Ashtar Command, and they have the ability to cloak their energy. So again, the difference between a lenticular cloud, the difference being lenticular clouds, when I've seen them, they're very easy to spot. When you see the energy from a cloaked spaceship, which I feel energy, so the thing with me is I also have the ability to feel the energy of what I see. And if it's a cloud, I won't feel anything. But I knew this right away. I had to take the picture because it was a cloaked spaceship in clear blue sky, and then the three other little craft coming from underneath it. In the distance beyond it, there are some regular clouds, but right in this point here, this thing never moved. It was stationary. It never changed really, and it was right there the whole time for me to take photos. So we're going to go back to my other screen here. Let me just do this here. Give me a moment. Okay. Just bring this here. I know we have two guest requests. I don't know who they are, but we're going to find out. I think, let's see. Thank you, Etheric. Yes, Penny, Jocelyn, yeah, they purposely hide themselves. Absolutely correct. If the thing was uncloaked, it'd be attracting a lot of attention, including probably our military or Air Force or whatever. So when they're cloaked, the radars can't detect them when they're cloaked. Let's see here. Hal Hologram is laughing. Well, I guess Hal Hologram is a hologram. So goodbye there, Hal Hologram. May you find your hologram somewhere. What's that all about? We're going to bring up Natureswhispers. I love it when the people that don't really have an interest in the subject leave on their own reconnaissance. That makes my job a little bit easier, right? All right, let's see what we've got going here. Natureswhispers is going to be our first guest, and then maybe Gary know about.
You're gonna love this. Here's a story with it. For the first
Nature,
time we
good to see you,
talked,
man.
for
Yeah,
the first time we talked, I was having a hard time. Barry, Prince of the Prairies was talking about me, and I happened to come up and we talked. And anyway, so I was having a hard time, and you send the ships and this and that. Now I've
yeah,
got a video on my page that'll back this up. I'm about to show you. It shows what was here, what was taunting me, and it shows just the pictures of pictures, but you'll watch it in the video.
yeah,
But it shows them grabbing
yeah.
it, and it's
Oh, cool.
intense. We'll get there. But it's funny because like dude was just saying like acting like you didn't know what you talk about. Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah. Hey, definitely. I think people, our audience, would love to see that. I just showed you the
Okay.
cloud ship that I took when my daughter's driving
Well,
on the way
first,
home.
see them
Let's
nasty
take a look there.
things? That's what they
Yeah.
bunched up. They bunched those little ugly things up right there and took them
Uh-huh.
away. Now there's actually a ship right up in the middle of this, but you see those beings? I got other pictures I'm gonna put through there though.
Yeah.
So they
I
move.
see I see some light, like a golden light in the trees. You see the light? I see things. Maybe you didn't notice it. There's a like a
Now, look,
light.
yeah, there's a ship. There's a ship there that's more like silver light. Those are good beings that come down from the big ship to get those ugly things down at the bottom on the ground. It's like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
the one thing had a head and spider legs
yeah.
thing,
Wow.
but they bunched them all up in a ball. And I've got the video to back this up, and then I'll show you the ship that grabbed them.
Yeah,
But there's also a
yeah,
close ship right there in the middle. Now the ship I'm about to show
yeah,
you, it's clear.
yeah,
Let me find it. The activity around me is so intense, man. I mean, it's just beyond
yeah,
intense. You see the
yeah.
door open
I see the
where the
again
white
what appears
is,
to
and
be a
that's the
light
ship
at
up
the
there.
lower.
That door opened. They stood out of that. Hmm?
Okay, so I see
No,
the light that's like on the lower end. It looks like some sort of reflection of light, and right above the tree, as you go up
that's the
the
top of the
tree
tree.
itself,
Hmm?
like I see below that there's other things happening
Yeah,
that I
faces,
see right
all
there
kinds of
too.
stuff. Yeah, you got to watch the video. It goes in motion. The faces all change. It's a whole different scene plays out. It's got like I don't know, like not regular humans, like maybe Anunnaki
Uh,
type beings. I don't know how else to
right.
present like as
Well,
far as
the
looks. I mean, they don't look
Anunnaki,
like normal.
The Anunnaki are very much human, beautiful looking people.
See
So
that's what they look more majestic. I mean, and
yeah,
as it got down further, as you get towards the ground, and you got the dark beings, but you go up high by the ship, they're more uh, not such dark beings. But
right.
this
So
was that the first time we talked.
the first time we talked, has there been like a clearing, like the spiritual beings taking out the ones that, when I say taking out, they're taking them away from where they are on your property that have been interfering with you? Is that it sounds like that's what's going on?
Well,
What you're saying?
I have activity with everything. I mean, absolutely everything. But I get a lot of holographic visual communications from the ships that go through the woods. I mean, my you can look at my videos. My entire woods is like turns into a TV screen, and they play out these scenes. And
Yeah,
that's one of the things that was happening here. Like there was a whole scene being played out, but then all of a sudden these dark beings started coming up, and then that ship shows up and it grabbed those dark beings, which is below
right.
this, you know.
And the dark beings were the negative ones that were trying to interfere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
really
Oh yeah.
nasty
Well, the good beings
and things.
are that's what they're doing. They're taking out the ones. When I say taking out, it's not like Earth based, like, oh, they're going to take them out. They take them away from the person's property, and they're taking them off planet. That's what's happening. We talked about this in general to people in my audience, that there are places around the country in remote areas where these beings, reptilians and others, and what you have happening, they're being taken there to a specific location, and they're being sent on ships to only take it off planet. So, but the
They're
whole thing is,
nasty.
but the thing is that can be stopped automatically. Matter of fact,
Oh, it did
and
stop.
what?
After this, that stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
This
So
was
yeah.
over. This was like last year when we first talked. It was
Oh, last yeah, when we
it
first
was a
talked
long
last year,
time
I
ago.
remember.
Yeah.
It was a long time. I remember when it was happening, but now in 2024, you haven't had any problems, right?
No. I just carry the weight of yeah. I
they
just
cleaned
carry the weight
house.
of seeing a lot. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah,
help people that go what
yeah.
are having a hard time like I did. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I remember when you
That
had the
weighs
hard
on me.
time
But
too.
yeah, but
Yeah,
no,
we definitely did some,
I wanted to put
and we
this
did
out
some,
there.
and we did some work with you last year too,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
helped, I think, a lot. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm a much better person now because of you. I got set. I mean, with that kind of stopped, I was able to focus more, and I met a couple other good people, and I got going the right
Yeah.
direction. Now I'm out there trying to help others that are going
Oh,
through
good.
similar
See,
experiences.
that's a
I
beautiful
wanted to tell
thing.
you that. I want others to know, like that was for real. It happened, and like do
We
St.
always,
Clouds. Some
we
people
always
can see,
help.
some can't. Just because you
Yeah.
can't see, don't mean that you can't see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because
And
he
you're
couldn't
right
see, don't
there.
mean you can't.
You're at right in your location where you live. You can see things that maybe people don't see all the time. But what
Yeah.
we did with Nature's last year, we helped him with the asteroid coming in there, and we took out all the negative ETs that were interfering with him. And like you said, he has no more problems. He's able to clearly help other people now, and that, to me, brother, is a beautiful thing. It really is. You know.
I mean, there it is before the gates open. Like, see it? Like, it's shut. You know what I mean? There ain't no
Hmm.
light up there, right?
Hmm.
And then once they open it up, I mean, each one, you see what opens. Each picture's different.
Yeah, pretty cool. And these are all photos from last year, correct? Are you still there? Hello?
App you want. It is not Photoshop. There is no layers. That is a recording of outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are photos, Nature's Whispers, from last year, correct? That we're narrating?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
posted the videos the other day, so they're up on my
yeah.
page. But if you
Okay,
want, go ahead
cool.
and test them. I mean, there's no Photoshop. There's no layers. This was a
No,
recording of
I
outside.
believe you.
Yeah.
No, I believe these are just, hey, these are your pictures. So yeah, I appreciate
Thank
that
you.
too. You know? Oh yeah, we know what Photoshop is. You do too. I mean, we've seen it on YouTube and everything else. So I've been around this block a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
I
Very
can't believe
cool.
that. I'm gonna get off here in a second because it's late. My brother's in bed. You know, my voice is deep. It carries.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was having a tough night. I had several tough nights. And you did that, and I'm like, well, I'll go along with it. We'll see how it happens. I mean, I've seen this stuff already, so I mean, he could be for real
Right.
too. And then that happened the next morning. I'm like, holy cow,
Yep.
dude's
Yeah.
for real.
I've helped many people. I've sent ships. I can't believe how many times recently I've done it this year. I mean, just in the last few weeks.
Hmm.
And I think I just was, last year is when I became activated to do this. I never knew I could do this. And I never did it at all until just last year. And so I'm humble about what I'm able to do now that I've been gifted to do. And if I can help other people, I know you're helping other people because we
I'm
cleared all
trying
the
my
energy
best,
out of
but
there. You
I
know,
guess I would pretty much say you got me started off on it because at the time I was going, it was a head trip. But after that, I got on the right path, and now I'm trying to do my part.
there you go. That's what the mission's about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. And what's your
I
first name
got
again?
that.
What's
What's
your
that?
first name again? What is your first name
Shane.
again? Shane.
Shane.
That's right, Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was let's see Nature's Whispers, but I remember you as Shane. So yeah, and Shane, I helped Shane everybody last year when he was going through problems, like some of the other people I've talked to. Never again is he having problems. They cleaned house. He's well protected, and he's doing his mission work.
Now, if they want to see the video of this, it's on my page. So on my
Yeah,
TikTok page, so they can see it's a real video. But thank you. I'm gonna get out there and have a great night.
you too, man. Shane, take care, man. We appreciate you coming back on with an update, and we're gonna do this here. Let me see what we're doing here. And we are
Thank you.
doing interviews tonight. That was Shane. We helped him last year when he had negative ETs interfering. And we had the Astro Command go up there and we cleaned some house. So yeah, good to have you all with us. And welcome. We are the Secret Service. That's a good name. The real Yvette says, I just watched a few of your videos. Nature's Whispers, very cool. Queen of the Stars says, send UFO to clear my home of any negative extraterrestrials. And let me see here. Good that you're watching us. We are Secret Service. Welcome to the show, the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I'm the man from Mars, CmdrAleon. So I'm also a contactee in the 60s. Hey, Susie. My uncle are dating. I don't know what it has to. Secret dancer. That's interesting. Hey, Johnny. So, as a child in the 60s, before I was a teenager, I actually, hey, Mahansuk, I actually had my contact with star people. Hey, Mahansuk, good to see you, brother. I had a contact with my space family for new people that were wearing light blue outfits, and also, Gary, man, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What you want to share? I'd love to have you up, but I need to know a little bit about you before I bring you up on the show. Thank you, Johnny. On the Father's Day, you too. I had an encounter in Long Island when I was a kid in the cul-de-sac in the suburban part of Long Island. And it was after dinner, and I went up to my brother's room, opened the blinds up with blinds, and there was a spaceship hovering just above in the cul-de-sac in the court. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4 houses, including our house in the center. And the spaceship was there with like this glass windows that were kind of tinted. And I saw the men, women, and some of the children. They were all wearing space outfits, light blue space outfits. And so I tell this story because I know not everybody's heard it. So I'm also a contactee, and I've been a contactee for, that was my first clear contact visually of my people And they said to me telepathically, hey, Barbara T, you live on Long Island. Cool. But I live in New England. I've lived in New England 2/3 of my life here, up here in Connecticut. But that was the first time I had that happen. And then I had, preceding that period, Real Vet. You never heard of that story? Okay, very cool. So I had contact with space people when I was a kid, and I had this like feeling I had to go upstairs. I don't know, usually why would you go upstairs for no reason? I just like hurried upstairs, past my room, into my brother's room, which is bigger, opened the wooden shades, and here's a spaceship, like a flying saucer type craft, hovering with a radiant like energy light around it, translucent energy. The ship was solid, and I saw the men and women who were very beautiful, looking at me. Some of them had, the women had long hair, and I think some of the men did, and some had short hair. But I definitely had that encounter, and I never forgot that. I never ever forgot the experience. But I've seen many, many, many spaceships since I was a kid, even until now. Everything that's from cloud ships that are not clouds, they're cloaked in an energy field. I call them cloud ships, or I call them ships that are cloaked. They're very different from a regular, like lenticular cloud. I showed it earlier. They have a well-defined shape to them. Like a regular cloud doesn't have a well-defined shape. It's just a cloud. So just to give people a little bit of background about me, were they blonde? Not necessarily. They were actually different color. Their hairs, some had lighter hair, some had darker hair. They didn't have any one specific type of hair in terms of color, but they were telepathic, and they said to me that you're not from this planet. And that was the beginning of my understanding. Well, I kind of knew I wasn't from the planet before that happened, because I told my friends when I was playing stickball, for those who never heard the story, that I was from Mars, and they got really angry at me. So I blurted out, and we're playing stickball. I'm standing in front of my house as we're playing stickball, and I say to them, the two of them, "Oh, I'm from Mars." They got so angry, I couldn't believe it. I'm not thinking like, "Oh, wow, I can just say I'm from." I never said to anybody when I was a kid I was from Mars. But then when I said it, I wasn't thinking about, this is normal. I'll just say I'm from Mars. Really? And I have no idea what made me say that, but they, we were kind of still friends, but boy, they were upset that I said that playing stickball, that I'm saying I'm from Mars, right? You're playing stickball, and the one kid in the group says he's from Mars. My family line has been visited 4 times generations by UFOs. Chris DiPalolo. We're going to bring you up, Chris. Chris, you're going to be our second guest. Chris says, my family line has been visited 4 generations. That's amazing. By UFOs. Chris, accept my request to come up. And Garyman, if it's related to the whole ET stuff, we're going to be setting up Robin, thing with I'm Shy, probably in the next few days. I'll be messaging her, and we'll pick out what night she can come on here, and we'll be having a thing going on there. But Chris, if you're looking at me on the screen, I've just invited you to come on to talk about your experience of your family 4 generations. Press the multi-guest option at the bottom. Chris, just press the multi-guest option. I'd like to have you on the program tonight. Let's see. Let's see if they're going to come on and share their story. Can we get them on? That's the question. We'd like to get them on. See, when I hear stories like that, Chris, I pinned your comment. Chris says, my family line has been visited 4 generations. 4 generations, that's a lot. By spaceships or UFOs. Chris, we want to have you on the show. We want definitely to have you on the show, Chris. Are you still with us? Hey, Michelle, good to have you back with us. Hope you're doing well. We'll see if we can get Chris on there. Chris, are you hearing me? Can you see me? I saw your post just now in comments. Do you see what I'm saying? All you have to do is say, yes, I do see your responding to my comment or something, I feel that we're not going to get Chris on the show. But I think that's real interesting. Hey, Gary, thank you for the roses. We appreciate it. See, this is what I look for. When people tell us a little bit about what's going on, I definitely want to know. I know our audience would love to hear the story of 4 generations of contact. 4 generations of contact. That's amazing to me. You know, I'm tuned right into that. Unfortunately, Chris is not responding, so I don't think we're going to get them on the show. Unfortunately. I will try to send them another request. Maybe they're not used to going on live. We will try again. I'm going to press, Chris, I'm pressing my guest request button. Chris DiPaolio, I think it is. I just pressed the request to have you on. When you get the request, press the accept button and we will put you on the show. There's an accept button. Unless they're not here anymore. Grumpy Monk says, I'm in South Florida. We see stuff towards the Keys all the time. Grumpy Monk. Interesting. And Gary Man has, let's see, I promised Gary Man I'd bring them on. So we're going to go with Gary Man first. Maybe Chris will come back and want to come on the show. Let me see. We got Gary Man. And again, when we bring people on, you have to be over 18. No smoking on the screen. No drugs, no drunks. No paranormal discussion, meaning nothing that is unrelated to the cosmic or galactic related stuff regarding UFOs or the spiritual aspects. You might have been a visitation. It could be an encounter. It could be a UFO sighting or sightings you're documenting, mer people. It could be about fairies, anything, the Bigfoot, everything related to the subject of what we're talking about. So Gary's going to be our second guest here on Encounters. We're going to see where Gary is. Gary, I'll ask you where your location is on the planet, and we'll get into your story too. So I'm bringing Gary on here right now as our second guest, and hopefully we'll bring some other people on. Hey, Gary, man, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good. And where are you located?
I'm in Arlington, Texas at the moment.
Okay, very good. Can you give us some background as to your story, when it started happening, so our audience has a kind of an idea of what we're going to talk about with you?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I had some ghost things happening earlier in my life, and it was on Indian land. But then the big thing, here's the UFO thing. I guess
Right.
that's what you want to hear about, right?
That's the thing, yeah, the UFO part.
Yeah. I was going between Granbury, Texas, and Stephenville, Texas. And right there, but right in between, I saw a light. There was 2 lights, and I couldn't believe it. It looked like headlights coming toward me, but it was in the sky like a plane, and it went backwards. And yes, this is kind of weird. And I know what happened. I saw it with my own eyes. It just left that tracer behind it. It was so fast.
Wow.
And people can call me crazy, but it happened. And
No, you're
then
not crazy.
in a couple of years, or a few years later, they had that spaceship that they saw, that people in Stephenville saw in Stephenville as well.
Stephenville, I remember that. I was really on that story many years ago when it happened. That is always been a hot spot for spaceship activity.
I don't understand it. I mean, it came toward me, and it was so fast. I mean, it was like a smear of light going the other way. And I'm just trying to get that off my chest because I never really told anybody, and I'm telling everybody, right?
Right. I have a large audience. It's the number one talk show on
Oh,
spiritual UFO matters on the social media platform. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe I am crazy, but I really ain't because I actually work for the government, and uh, I don't know.
You're not crazy. If I may ask, when I hear the word government, so when you say you work for the government, do you work in areas like areas that deal with
Aerospace,
this aerospace?
yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have like a top security clearance?
No,
Okay,
but
that's all right.
I got very good clearance. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So with a very good clearance, I want to focus on this story because I think it's fascinating. All my guests, whenever they come on, they always say, "You're going to think I'm crazy." It seems to be the narrative of when people say that. I can tell you because I'm a contactee since I was a kid in the '60s. That
Mhm.
30 years later, 30 years ago, there's more people saying to other people, "Oh, I don't believe this. This is crazy." 30 years later, with the things, even though I don't agree with the Pentagon because they haven't really done anything to disclose any truth about the existence of intelligence beyond Earth, or they haven't, since they began their website internally that's public, shown anything dramatic that's telling me, oh, yeah, here's some spaceships. And so when you tell me your story, they're 80% of the population now will be more apt to believe a story like yours in my audience, definitely, than 30 years ago because things have changed. There's more people having sightings like you did. A lot of people, if you watch my show regularly, you'll find a lot of people documenting UFO sightings on video, photographs, being contacted by space people from other worlds that I've been interviewing on my show. A lot of that's going on now, and it's increasing. Why? Because the space intelligence is making individual contacts with people over the world, including probably people that don't even have TikTok or Facebook or even Instagram or YouTube. There are people out there being probably contacted by these space people as we speak. So you're not crazy. I just want to let you know that.
I
I think,
appreciate that, but I'm going to let you know I work for a very prominent company, uh, BH, and you can think of that however you want to, but uh, I can tell you, I know how that company works, and it's awesome, and it's badass, and we
yeah,
are like the cutting edge of everything, and we always have been.
yeah,
But the thing that I saw, uh-uh, no,
yeah.
sorry.
No, even if we have been on the cutting edge, which I'm familiar with, even with the reverse technology that we have gotten from
Uh,
have been by extraterrestrial intelligence since Eisenhower's time, there were agreements made that we would be given technology, but it's still very limited because it's given by very advanced, very lower vibrational beings that were abducting people. They gave the government the technology at places like Area 51, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I can go on and on. I know all about this. So we have the ability to have reverse technology, advanced technology, but it's still very limited. It can only go so far. And but your story talks about when that thing went going reverse. That was very interesting to me how it reversed itself as you were watching it,
yes.
and that's
Uh,
unusual.
the most unusual thing is how does anybody not understand that there is anybody not coming, that there's no UFOs or aliens because it's in the Bible, first of all. And I mean, obviously, it's happening because, I mean, there's too many sightings, eh, too many anomalies. And I work in there's no way our planes can do that.
Right. And you're right. There aren't any aliens. Alien is a word made by media It's a media-based. If you watch History Channel, Travel Channel, Discovery, when they do programs, they're the ones who created this word in the media called alien. There are no aliens, but there are interdimensional beings. There are multidimensional beings. There are spiritual beings of light from other planets that look just like us. I'm a contactee. I saw them when I was a kid in a spaceship wearing light blue outfits, spacesuits, and very loving, very telepathic beings. Those are what we call the higher vibrational beings of light. I've been in this thing for many, many years, so I have a lot of knowledge on the subject. And you're right. There's no way we could do what this was doing when you were watching it. Again, you're dealing with a higher intelligence that can do things that we cannot even perceive to do, even if we have reverse engineered technology from the lower extraterrestrials. We cannot proceed to do what those of the higher levels of light can do with their spaceships.
And what are we scared for?
Yeah. We're only scared. People that are scared because of the misinformation. Let's put it this way. Being in the media, I've been on radio for 21 years doing a show called The Cosmic Eye. And I think the reason why the population has been scared, because the documentaries that are shown on TV that you can watch on these 3 different networks, some of which are okay and many of which are not, and even on TikTok or YouTube, many of the interpretations of intelligences from outer space are ugly-looking space beings that are ready to gobble you up, and like in the worst sci-fi movie ever, and it's just not true.
Well, obviously they're much more intelligent than we are.
Right, right. Right, and they're not big-eyed monsters with fangs ready to eat up, everything in your house, including you. It's just, it's Hollywood's version, documentary's version, and it's done on purpose to scare people about the truth about extraterrestrial intelligence. And I'm a telepathic communicator, Gary. I actually work with the Ashtar Command, which are actual space people that represent all the beautiful planetary people from beyond Earth, let's put it that way. I'm a contactee. I had a contact a few nights ago, which I documented. It's on my main page here, and you can hear them call. My sister, who's on a spaceship, calls to me, and she visits for a few minutes and leaves. We document everything, and so I'm actually a contactee of the positive kind. I'm having contact periodically recently, and it's something that's not just me. There are many other people having contact as well with space people, and I think it's just something that's real. It's happening. I came out of the closet years ago about my background, and on my public radio station, NPR station, I went public 21 years ago. So I'm very happy to be public about it. There's a lot of people watching my show. Many of you are being contacted. Maybe you've never talked about it. I know that to be true, and many more people. And I'm sure there's going to be a time, Gary, when you're going to be not just seeing spaceships, but you will eventually have contact.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I work for a government facility, and I know I saw something that was way out of normal. That's no, you know what I mean? I'm like going, that's way out of our side.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. It's just all these things are happening now. You're going to see more people of anything on social media and anything. This is a place where you're going to see a lot more people that have come forward. I've interviewed so many people that have either been years ago having abductions that they tell me about, people that had problems with lower vibrational ETs, people that had beautiful experiences coming on my show saying they had visitations in their home with light beings, plasma beings, tall men and women who look human like us. I've had so many people, and my whole goal has been here to have a tapestry where everyone shares their experiences, and those that have had terrible experiences, we help those people. Those who have had beautiful experiences, they don't need any help. They're just sharing their story, and I think it's a beautiful thing where people can come forward on my show like you and share what you actually experienced, because it's real. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that have had similar experiences like you, Gary, and there's more and more people having experiences now in 2024.
I appreciate you letting me have all this time and everything. I'm very intrigued on what you're going with. I love. You're very much better speaker than I am. I can tell you that.
Well, you're a good speaker. You're doing very well. You're fine.
I'm on your side. I just don't get it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll get it. You watch this show, you're going to get it pretty quickly. You're going to be addicted to the show. The show probably is the best place to really learn stuff. Because of my background in the subject, you'll learn quite a bit here.
Yes. Yeah. I appreciate, because I've never told anybody about that. Now I'll let it loose to everybody, right?
Yeah. Well, it's time, you can't hold it, you wouldn't feel good if you kept holding back that kind of knowledge of what you experienced. It's healthier to come forward out of the closet and say, this is what happened, CmdrAleon. And that's what you did. And I think it's a beautiful thing, really.
Thank you. It was just so weird because, I mean, they looked like headlights coming toward me on a two-way street.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing turned around and it hooped around. And I mean, it smeared. There's nothing can go that fast.
Did you feel, Gary, like you were being watched, like you were like that was yourself being watched by extraterrestrial intelligence inside that craft?
No, I did not. I'll be honest with
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I was going from my house in Granbury, and then I was going to visit my girlfriend in Stephenville, which was in college, and
Yeah.
I got right in between that point. That was right up there in Boydell, and I mean, I had a weird feeling though. I will say this: I had a weird feeling every time I went through that area. It's a weird feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that two lights looked like two headlights, but it came from
Mm.
kind of sky. It's
Mm-hmm.
too high. And I was like
Yeah.
going, what is going on? And
Yeah.
then it
Well,
came right toward me, and it turned around and went underneath, and I mean, it looked like Star Wars.
yeah.
Like it just smeared.
Right.
I was like,
Were you getting any feelings? Because I'm getting the feeling, and this is another thing I do. I read people's energy from their stories. People that watch
oh,
me regularly will tell you. So I'm going to say, the fact that it came towards you, I think it came towards you on purpose. I think that I don't know too much about who they were. I do know that they were watching you, being the intelligences on that ship, or you want to call it UFO or ship, were actually there was nobody else seeing this. You were the only one solo seeing this, and
yeah,
it came towards you, correct?
correct.
Right. Well, the reason why it came towards you, because it also sensed your intelligence. Now, for people that say, well, how do you know that? Because if it wasn't watching you, it would have just been something flying in the air. And let's say you were looking out the window and you're driving, all of a sudden you see this thing and it just goes past you and it's gone. This thing wasn't going past you, it was coming towards you on purpose.
Mm.
It was coming towards you, right? It was actually moving towards you.
It got right to me.
Right. What do you think that happened? It was actually connecting with you. The intelligences on that craft were connecting with you visually, and I don't know much more other than that, but they were definitely trying to connect with you.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
weird.
no, they
Out of
were.
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at that up. You can even look up the Stephenville thing. That happened a couple years later, where the mothership was
Yeah.
like over there. I mean, it kind of messed my head up for a minute.
Oh, yeah, it would, because so how many people have an experience where a spaceship's coming towards them and then zips away? See,
Yeah.
I think you were having a contact experience, at least visually. But I do believe the fact that you still remember it, I believe that I don't know much about the intelligence of this particular group, but did you feel, you didn't feel scared or anything, correct?
No, 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 no. I didn't feel scared. I was
Mm-hmm.
confused, but
Confused, yeah,
not
of
scared.
course. Well, you were confused. Your mind was confused because the
Yeah,
mind is not used to your mind. The brain is not used to this kind of activity. The brain wants logical explanations. The
yeah.
spiritual you, the spiritual center, which I call the spiritual you,
Mhm.
if you go into the spiritual meditation and go back and reflect on it, you can find out who these beings are. It's so simple that most people don't do this, but I do workshops and I teach people that you can do this, and it's simply by learning to meditate for like 30 minutes
I
and
love
just being
meditating.
centered. If you
Yes.
meditate, get centered, they operate in what they call it's not telecommunications. They will communicate telepathically. So, for example, if that craft had just stopped in midair and you stopped where you were and you looked at it and you said to yourself internally in consciousness, who are you? Where are you from? I bet you would have had a conscious response telepathically by those intelligences. That always that didn't happen because obviously this thing happens. You have the experience, and it's like you're not thinking about, oh, should I be telepathic about it? Because you're not. How many people see a spaceship or UFO and say, I want to find out who they are. I'm going to use my telepathy. Humans have the ability to be telepathic, but we don't use that ability. But you do have the ability to learn how to do that.
Uh, fortunately, I think they're still kind of with me.
Oh, they are still with you. So let me ask you a question. I'm very
Yeah.
intrigued by this. And as I listen to your story, I'm going to give you information. You can take it or leave it. But I've helped many people come to resolve when I tell them this. I
Okay.
would suggest,
Before
yeah,
you do this, I be honest with you. I really think they're with me, and I don't want to sound crazy.
and you're not crazy at all. No one's crazy here on my show. So you're not.
Okay. All right.
So I'm saying to you is here that I don't know who they are either. I usually get a clear indication, but for a sense of protection, what I would do is I always tell people, if you can communicate with them telepathically, say, I will only allow communications with Christed beings of light. Meaning, when I say that, the space people I communicate with, like for example, Ashtar Command, are men and women who are Christed beings of light. They come from planets, their families, where they come from, they live in a very different way than we live on Earth. There's no religions, there's no shopping malls, there's no, polluting the air, all this stuff that we do here. So it's very different. And so I think what I'd like you to do is try doing a meditation internally, think about who they are, and like I said, they are with you. They're waiting for you to communicate with them. But to make sure that they are who they are, that's why you want to be saying to them, I will only accept communications if you are Christed beings of light, and if they're not, they can't respond. You see, and so when you say that, you're putting a protection around you. I do this with all people that have had visual contact with spaceships, that have been following them or seeing them, and it's helped the people a great deal on my show when I help them this way. So by doing that, you will actually institute and instigate a reaction, because if you use telepathy has no blockage. So you're going to have to take your brain, the human brain, and tell it to just be quiet. When you do this, you're going to have to go through a meditation. Your brain's going to have to be silent. You're going to have to control your brain and say, you're not going to interfere with this. I need to get some resolution here. You're going to get the resolution by doing the 30-minute meditation and just saying, I'm a Christed being of light on earth. I want to know if you are Christed beings of light that were actually communicating visually with me. Show me your ship at that time period and see if you get some response. And depending on how they answer you, you can cut off the communications, and that's it. If they answer you with honesty and integrity, and they tell you they are, from wherever they are, you can ask them, where are you from? Why were you there, coming close to me that day? You can ask those questions. It's all going to be through telepathy, Gary. It's going to be learning how to use your consciousness without verbally speaking.
Okay. I got a little bit more stranger thing going on here.
Okay, related. Hopefully, it's related. It has to be related to the cosmic ET stuff.
It's related.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting a little older in the head, but my
Hmm.
body still looks like a 16-year-old.
You're getting older earth base wise, but your body looks like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, my face, my head, it's getting a little older. I still
Hmm.
look good though, by the way. I ain't lying.
Hmm.
But my body, it's not aging.
Now, did that start happening after the encounter with this craft?
Yes.
I'm telling you, that tells me a lot right there. So after you had the encounter, this is unusual. You had the encounter. What year was this?
That, shit. I don't want to tell you.
No, no, no. Tell me what year it was. This is really important to document the information you're sharing.
Not,
Audience.
I will totally get it totally straight. It will be. I want to make sure it because it was hot. So it was the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be probably. I can't give you exact date.
What year? It doesn't have to be a date. What year was it?
1990.
Okay, 1990. And 1990 is when you had that encounter. So after you had the encounter of this thing coming close to you, this spaceship, you say that your age, did you start looking younger after that? What happened to you physically?
Well, my face has got a little bit more wrinkly, but my body, I mean, it's been through hell and back, and
Hmm.
I mean, I'm 52 years old and I look like a 16.
So your body physically did not look like a 16-year-old when you had this thing
No,
happen before. So the physically,
crazy.
somehow, whatever this ship did, it affected your physical body more than the face, but the physical body looks like to be 16. Oh, I just lost them. That was weird. Weird things happen, and I just lost them. As we're talking about the beings, the space people, and him being looking 16. I'm telling you, folks, every time in this show, something happens here. And I'd better not say what else is going to happen tonight. There's always something happening here. Let's see if I can get, maybe he had his battery power went down. Let me see what happened. Oh, Gary Man, here, I'll bring it back up. Gary Man, what happened to your phone? He's back.
Sorry.
What happened? Your phone lose power?
I don't know. Maybe it was the aliens.
No, you know what? I'm telling you, I got to say this before we go further. As we're getting into talking about your not aging, I lost you like within, all of a sudden you went, you were gone. Now, you didn't do anything to your phone. You didn't touch anything, correct?
No.
Nope. So let's I'm telling you, every time I do this show, something happens. Every time. You know,
Oh,
without a
boy.
question. Always. So as you watch my show, what just happened now, I'm not going to, go into it in terms of like, was it, intervention by space people knocking you out of the broadcast? I don't, it could have been your phone. I'm not going to speculate anything here, but I thought it was pretty weird.
Yeah,
So
kind
now
of.
you know what having a weird experience is on my show. When you watch my show, you're going to see other people having strange experiences on my show. It
We
always
gonna
happens.
we gonna be good friends.
Yes, we will be. Absolutely. We're glad to know you. So I want to just say, like you mentioned the aging process, I think you really do need to meditate. I believe the fact that you're physically looking 16, I think they were trying to work with you on some level to help you on your physical body for whatever reason. And I think just that point of what you're saying, I'm fascinated by that. I've never heard a story where someone starts looking younger physically after having an experience with a spaceship. That to me is amazing.
Yeah.
Awakened Visual Sky for now said, well, I've been listening to you for 20 years, probably from the radio show Awakened, on WESU Radio, on my Cosmic Eye show.
I'm 6 foot and I've never went over 200 pounds.
Wow. Pygmy, I think Pygmy of Southern Cal says, I had contact dream when I was a child, and they said they'd come back for me. I'm almost 42. You'll be our next guest, Pygmy of Southern California. We're going to follow you. You need to change your setting, Pygmy, to public, or else I can't get you on the show. Change your setting. Oh, well, Gary, I want to thank you, man, for being on here. This is amazing. Your story is amazing. I want you to do some meditations. I want you to, center and say, I'm a Christed being of light. I wish to connect with the beings that help me on my physical body to look like I'm 16. Who are you? Where you're from? Try to get more information in meditation.
Okay. If you don't mind me saying something, it's not just about the aliens. I mean, I have actually pictures of uh, beings as well.
You have pictures of space beings?
No, not space beings, but
Yeah. If it's unrelated to the ET stuff, you might. Yeah, I would save that for the more of the paranormal, which is not what we do here. But the ET stuff, definitely.
I know. It's kind of weird because it kind of intertwines with everything.
Yeah, I just want to stay away from that stuff, just a principle. But on the ET level, definitely focus on that and meditate. And I'd love to hear what happens. I think there'll be some revelations that you'll get in meditation. Absolutely.
I really appreciate you guys because you made me feel better tonight.
Hey, look, if I can bring some resolution to somebody's story, and I listen to stories really carefully, I'm glad you came on here. I think it was a good thing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for.
All right, everybody. I want to thank
Bye-bye.
Gary for being here in Texas. Thank you for being on the show, and give us an update in the future when you do make contact through telepathy. We'd like to hear about it. Okay, very much. Gary down in Texas, our second guest. If you want to be a guest on Encounters, you have to be over 18, no children on the screen, no smoking, no drinking, no drugs, no being drunk. You have to, no paranormal discussion. And again, that's the premise of where we are here. And I'm going to see, if you want to be on the show, tell us a little bit about yourself in the comment section, and I'll make a decision. Let's see, BJR, is it okay? Of course it is. BJR saying to me, is it okay to desire to meet a Pleiadian? If you feel connected, BJR, some reason you're saying Pleiadian, you must have a connection with the Pleiadians on some level. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Salah al-Salih, I remember being beamed up to a pink light. I'm a Marine, 25 years old. Moneybag Blaze. Salah, I think Salah, let's see here. Oh, Salah has 0 followers. Huh. Salah says, I remember being beamed up through a pink light. Let's see here. And please tell me, folks, if you've never been on my show to go live, don't be afraid to go on. It's very easy. I'm a contactee. I've had experiences with many, many UFO spaceship sightings over the years. I'm a host of NPR Pacific Radio's WESU FM. I also work with the Ashtar Galactic Command. Moneybag says I have 4 videos of UAPs. BJR, I think I had contact with Seven Sisters once. I got scared and said, go away if I knew who they were. BJR, we're going to bring you up. BJR, please accept my guest request when it pops up. Just press the request. I want to hear your story, and I'm going to help you out here.
Hello.
Hello there, BJR.
Hi. I I can't sleep, so I don't have any makeup on or anything like that. I don't want to be seen, if that's okay.
No, that's okay. So tell us, first of all, what's your first name?
My name is Barb.
Barb, nice to meet you, Barb. I'm
Nice to meet you.
CmdrAleon. I'm the host of the #1 show here on social media. And can you tell us where you are and when you had started having these things happen and what you're talking about?
Okay, I live in Florida, and I went to this, I don't know, metaphysical place that someone recommended to me, and there was this discussion, and this lady was channeling, but I had no idea what she was talking about, and I was just sitting there listening, going, yeah, I didn't believe any of that stuff.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, so, the day went on, and I went home, and I was staying with my parents, and I couldn't sleep, like now, but I felt something come in through the window, and this is gonna sound bizarre, I'm just telling you what happened. Hit me in this force or whatever, hit me on the knees, and I was startled, and I said, "Oh my God, what is that?" And then I heard, "We are the Seven Sisters." I had no idea what this was, and out of fear, and it was a knee-jerk reaction, I said, "Go away!" And then that was it. And
Wow.
yeah. I didn't know what it was until later on, and now I'm like, oh man, I want a second chance to apologize because I didn't know what it was.
So that was a physical, no one's going to, I don't know why people like on my show say, you're going to think I'm crazy or this or that. You're not crazy. Because I'm a contactee from the 60s and had physical contact with men and women in light blue outfits, spacesuits. So yeah, I completely can relate. So this is a physical event. What year did this happen?
Oh geez, this happened about 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Okay, so you're kind of kicking yourself since then, saying, why did I do this? Why didn't I make contact? Why didn't I be more inviting? Right. So you know the Seven Sisters and the Pleiadians and the Seven Sisters, correct?
I know it now. I didn't know it then.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what it was.
Okay. So would you like to make contact with the space people from the Seven Sisters?
Yes. That would be so cool.
I'm going to give you some help here on how to do that.
Okay.
I do this. This is not a nuts and bolts show. I'm like I said, I'm a contactee. I'm not like somebody wearing a suit talking to people about UFO sightings and that's it. I get very deep into the subject because I'm also involved. I don't come from Earth. I come from Mars. And I came here on a mission to Earth. I work with the Astro Command, which are the positive space people from different planetary systems. So I have a great deal of knowledge than most people, and my knowledge goes more into the positive versus negative because I come from the positive. So here's how you're going to do it. Here's how you can make contact with them. Do you do any meditation?
Yes, all the time.
Oh, you do a minute? Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to take the meditation and we're going to take it to another level.
Okay.
So one of the things I teach people when I do my workshops is when you focus on situations like this, first of all, you say, I'm a Christed being of light. That's what you're going to say. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you some examples here. I'm going to teach you some things right here on the show.
Okay.
So say to yourself, I'm a Christed being of light.
I'm a Christed being of light.
I'm sorry that I didn't allow the contact to happen 20 years ago with my space family from the Seven Sisters.
I'm sorry.
Say that right now.
Oh, I'm sorry that break it up, please. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I rejected my contact with you 20 years ago with the Pleiadian beings from the Seven Sisters.
I am sorry I rejected contact 20 years ago with the Pleiadian beings of the Seven Sisters.
Right. Now they can hear what you're saying. And believe it or not, they can hear your words beyond human comprehension. They're hearing it right now as you're speaking.
Really?
So here's what you're going to do. Yes, they can. You see, the human mind makes you think that that's not possible. So you have to push your mind aside and go into the center of your being. And that's how you're going to make contact with the Seven Sisters, the space people from the Pleiadians that tried to communicate with you 20 years ago physically. Mm-hmm. But it's like, oh, she just slammed the door on us and now, she told us to go away. So what you're going to do is, by apologizing for that, you were kind of freaked out. You didn't understand what was happening. Mm-hmm. Now you can actually not freak out because now you know who they are. Excuse me. So now you're going to be able to facilitate communications with them through telepathy. Do you know what telepathy is?
Mind contact.
Yeah, it's mind to mind, it's conscious to conscious communication. Right. So instead of you and I verbally talking like through my show here, you're using your consciousness quietly communicating with them. There's no blockage in telepathy. Telepathy can be heard throughout the universe if you have specific communications with that specific being from the Seven Sisters. They can hear your verbal communications through telepathy. So it's consciousness. It's mind-to-mind communications.
Oh, that's
so what you're going to do is have that mind-to-mind communications eventually. The first thing you're going to do is meditate and focus on them and say, I wish to connect with my Pleiadian brothers and sisters that were communicating with me 20 years ago. I am sorry that I didn't understand what was going on here, but I do wish to communicate with you. And if you just do that in a Christed meditation, that I'm a Christed being of light, obviously I have connections to you, the Pleiadian Seven Sisters, the beings that were trying to communicate with me. I would like to facilitate and re-communicate with you. And if you do that, it's like meditation with like a mantra. You'll do that probably 30 minutes a day or whenever you can meditate. And just eventually they will communicate back to you. And I think give it about 3 weeks of time, but you have to be very disciplined in what you're doing. And I believe you will have contact with them. And let me know what happens.
I definitely will. I have never seen, I really haven't told anybody else because it just, if somebody else would have said that to me, I would have thought maybe, a little bit of Fruit Loops. But I mean, I've felt energy before, but this was like a ball of energy that I literally felt hit my knee. Well, the way I was sitting in my bed, my knees were up and everything. And when it came in, it was almost like I could feel it coming through the window and wham, right on my knees. And
where do you think the ball of energy came from? Do you think it came from a spaceship?
I have no idea. I'm just telling you what happened.
No, I think it came. I think the ball of energy was sent out of you're inside in your home, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What room were you in at the time? Do you know?
I was in my bedroom. I got a divorce and I moved back with my parents, and I was in my bedroom and just thinking.
In the bedroom, was there a window?
Yes.
Did it come through the window?
It came right in through the window.
Okay. So it came from a spaceship. Hey, I'm getting information. It came from a spaceship.
Really?
A Pleiadian spaceship, yes. The ship was way up in beyond your visualization area. It wasn't really like, when I say way up, it was high enough where it would not be seen. If anything, it was a ball of light. When that ball of light hit you, what were you feeling at that point?
I was startled.
You were startled. Well, you would be startled, but you weren't afraid, were you?
Well, it was kind of like a startled, confused. I didn't know what to say. I mean, I didn't know what was happening.
As a human being, what would you do? I mean, there's something like this happens, first time experience. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
But
I feel foolish because I'm really embarrassed saying this, but I pulled a blanket over my head and I said, "Go away!" And it was a knee jerk.
And it left, right? The ball left because. Yeah, they were definitely the Pleiadians. They were trying to communicate with you. You obviously weren't ready for it at that time, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You feel you're ready for it now?
Yes. Since then, I'm like, can you give me a second chance, please? I'd really like to.
They'll give you a second chance without a question. Now that you have had the experience, just do the meditations. Give it a couple of weeks. Stay very focused. Don't let your mind interfere with what you're doing. And you will definitely have contact with them again. Not only with a ball of light, but if you wish to see them physically, they're about 7-8 feet tall, the men and women that were on that spaceship. Just to let you know.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to say something that's way out there, but I'm just out of curiosity.
Nothing's way out on this show. Nothing on this show is way out.
Can you, do they become friends or is it strictly business?
No, you kidding me? You probably are connected with the Pleiadians. You're probably connected with them as a star being, a star seed, meaning that they're probably your family members from the Pleiadians, the Seven Sisters, that are trying to connect with you. They were trying to connect with you. Obviously, at the time, 20 years ago, you weren't ready to make that contact. I had no idea
what any of this was. I never paid attention to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely Now that you're going to do this, you want to say, I'm willing to make contact with my star family from the Seven Sisters.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I was new at this. I didn't know what was going on. And I want to make contact with you again. And I want to know who you are, your names. You can ask all these questions, and we'll get answers. I guarantee it.
Oh, that is so awesome. That's really fascinating.
Yeah,
So,
I'm so happy you came on the show.
I,
Yeah.
so
You know.
I've never felt any pull to anything else. I mean, since then I've been trying to learn about it, like the Arcturians and all that. Like, yeah, but it's the Pleiadians that I really feel drawn to.
Yeah, because you're from, now this is another thing I'm going to say. When you feel drawn to, like when I tell people I'm from Mars, the most recent history of my life off planet was Mars, which has inhabitants of 10 to 15 million people that are human that live on Mars, very, very loving people on Mars. So when you mention the Pleiadians and the feeling you have strongly of the Pleiadians, the reason why you're feeling so strongly, because you come from the Pleiadian star system. You just don't remember all of it. That's why they were contacting you. They're trying to tell you 20 years ago, here we are, we're going to make some initial contact. Now, maybe the way they did it was kind of unusual how do they know how a human's going to react to a ball of light coming through their window?
Yeah.
But if you facilitate contact, you will meet your star family that are in the Pleiadian Seven Sisters. You'll actually meet them.
I'm actually excited about that. I mean, if I hadn't had that experience, I wouldn't have given a second thought. But since then, like, oh man, and I started diving into research about it. And I thought, geez,
yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, the reason why you're feeling the way you do is because actually they were trying to introduce themselves 20 years ago to you. You just weren't ready for it. You just weren't ready.
Yeah, I had no clue. I didn't know what a Pleiadian was. I didn't, until throughout the years I've done research of what I can, but it's since TikTok has come on and YouTube and finding more books here and there about it. So
yeah, no, it's amazing. I think I want to definitely keep in touch with you about your experience. Your energy, just by the way, your energy is very filled with light. I read energy on my show here. I have been downloaded from my space family. I've been downloaded quite regularly now with the ability to read things and do things I wasn't able to do 2 years ago.
Right.
But I can tell you that you are filled with a lot of light and the Pleiadians are very light-filled space people, men and women from their planetary systems. They are very loving, and you have you're a very loving person. You're a person that I think in life you are a very generous person, correct?
I try to be. I work with 6-year-olds, and I can walk into a room that I've never been in and look around, and then all of a sudden I have kids surrounding me without saying anything.
Yes, because you are, in a sense, you are Pleiadian in human form. You draw the energy of the kids because you're filled with a lot of light and a lot of love in your own beingness. You already know that, correct?
Yeah, that's my intention. I want to be one of those people that light up a room. I want to be of service and helping others.
Yeah.
So
You're definitely one of those people that I believe has that ability to just bring that light into the kids and all the beautiful things that you bring. I think that's very beautiful. Well, thank you for being on here.
Thank you for inviting me.
We loved having you on. And again, give me your first name.
Barbara. Barb,
thanks for being on here.
Thank
and
you.
Let us know what happens. You're now a part of our large audience all over the world, and we're glad to have you on here on Encounters.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Say thank you to Barb for sharing her story. She'll keep us updated a few weeks from now. I want to see what happens here.
I will definitely do that. I'll send you a private message saying, introduce myself.
That sounds great. That sounds really good.
Thank you.
All right. I'm so happy to have her on. Barb, thank you. And this is the kind of thing we do here. As host of the show, I look at all the comments and, if there's some real stories to share, I will bring them on. Again, you have to be over 18. No paranormal discussion, no kids on the screen, no smoking, no drugs, no paranormal discussion, no cursing or anything like that. We're professional. We've been on radio for 21 years, so I have a lot of cosmic knowledge here, and I do what you would call a spiritual UFO talk show. Let's see here. And if you want to be on the show, give me a comment to let me know what your story is, and I'll decide whether to have you on or not. But I need to know a little bit about your story so I can make a decision on you being on the show. And again, you have to be over 18. You can email me, Barbara. You can email me. Let's see here. I'll give you the email here. Hopefully it should show up. You can email me at my email address there, and I'll be happy to have you on. Are stars UFOs? Not necessarily. Unless the stars start moving, they would be just strictly stars. But no, stars aren't UFOs. And let's see here. Pygmy, okay, Pygmy, I'm going to bring you on. Pygmy, I want to hear your story. I was reading her comments, and I want to give you a warm welcome to the #1 show on social media. Pygmy of Southern Cal, welcome.
Hi, I'm sorry, I can't really hear you. I'm not technologically savvy, so I'm going to try to figure this out.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you out here. You actually have quite a bit of followers. Let me see here. You've got, yeah. We if you are physically dressed and wanting to come on the camera, I can tell you how to do that.
I think I can hear you okay now. I'd prefer to stay off camera if that's okay.
Okay, and I give you that option. In the future, if you decide to go on camera, you can certainly do that. So tell us, what's your first name?
My first name is Justine, and I don't know why I'm really nervous to talk about this stuff. I think it's because I feel a little crazy.
You're not crazy. You know how many people I've had on here saying people think I'm going to be crazy? I'm a contactee. I've had contacts since the 1960s, so I'm a different kind of host. I actually have more empathy because I've been through it. I've seen tons of spaceships since I was a kid, so you can feel very comfortable. Don't be nervous. It's all good, and we're going to treat you with a lot of respect, and as I do all my guests. So tell us, Justine, when did you have your first initial things happen regarding UFOs or possible contact?
Well, the first thing that I remember is what I just the experience I remember it as was a dream, and I have no idea how old I was. All of my childhood memories are like really blurred, so I'm like perpetually 9 in all of my memories, so I really can't say how old I was. But I remember having this dream where I was on this ship, and the ship was just hovering over Earth, and I saw my mom laying on a table, like she was asleep. And there was this really tall blonde woman standing next to me, very slender, tall blonde woman, and she was speaking to me, but not with her mouth, like telepathically. And she was explaining to me that, in kind of like the best way I could describe it is like really, really dumbed down words, saying that my mom is not one of this earth, and that's why she's sick all the time, and that I'm considered them because I'm firstborn, and that any subsequent children after that are not, and that they would not survive. Some additional context to that is I did have a brother who did pass away from a genetic disorder. So back to this dream experience, they were just telling me, that in like caveman terms, that they were gonna, come back for me, that I'm considered them. And I called up my mom. We didn't live together. She lived like a mile away from me. And I called her up and I started to tell her the experience, that I had this dream that was crazy. And she finished it for me, which made no sense to me because in my experience, she wasn't lucid. She was asleep. Right. As an adult, she has no memory of this. I've tried to bring it up to her. She doesn't remember. But it was such a strong experience for me. I never forgot that. Yeah. And all throughout life, I live in Southern California now. I moved away for about 20 years and then recently just came back a couple years ago. But all throughout my life down here, I would see things in the sky all the time. Like I have a strong memory of going to Burbank with my dad to see his girlfriend, and there was a triangular shaped craft that had lights at each point, and in the center was this dull, pulsating red light. And it was hovering over our truck really slowly where we were passing it. And I had to look out the back, and I was looking at it with my brother at the time. And I said, look. And we watched it just go like, shoo, like take off, like really fast.
Wow.
Like it was gone. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I saw a UFO. And I told all the adults, and they're like, no, you didn't. We're by the airport. That was a plane. I'm like, planes don't do that. Like, I'm a child. I know that. But like,
you
planes don't do that. And I've seen all kinds of craft and stuff. And I moved to Oregon in my mid-20s and really didn't see anything up there. Like, I had heard people talk about it, but not too long before I was going to move back down here, and I moved back down south because my father passed away, and I inherited his house, and it just made financial sense to move back here. But before we moved, my mom was looking up at the sky, and she was seeing all these like lights. I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, look. And where she was pointing was like right around the sun. Like, it was very difficult to see. I had to stand like in the shade of the house right by the roof where I could barely see what was going on in the sky. And I don't know why this terrified me, but it did. I just saw these like golden metallic orbs just going all around the sun, like in the not the sun itself, but like in the halo around the sun, like up in there.
Now, you said they were golden metallic orbs. That to me is really beautiful. And I'm using the word beautiful because the fact that they were golden metallic, that says a lot about who they are. So are you interested to know? I'm going to let you continue with the story, but I had to stop you there when you said golden metallic orbs. So they look gold, right? They were golden in their energy, their field of energy.
I just figured that maybe they were gold looking because the sun was bouncing off of them maybe. But the fact there was so many of them and there was no sound at all to be made, like my mom was super excited about it, and for some reason it terrified me. And she got a couple of pictures, and it just kind of looks like shape-shifting clouds, like whatever it is moving so fast, like the clouds are moving around it. And I have no idea what these things were, but that scared me. So
well, it's because it was unusual. I mean, your human mind got scared more. It's not so much you. See, the human mind plays tricks on human beings. I always teach people one thing. Sometimes you got to put your human mind, which is scared of anything different, and say, stop it. You tell it, you have the conversation with your mind saying, okay, human mind, stop doing this to me. I want to understand this, or you're not helping anything here. You're making me scared. So, but go ahead. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And that dream experience has always stood out to me because it's kind of like a weird prophecy, when they said that, basically prophesizing that my brother would die, and he did die, and saying that, the words that they used was saying that my mother was one with the earth, right? That like she had like basically like mated with an earthling, kind of a weird way of saying that. And then in my mid-30s, I took a DNA test and found out that the father that raised me wasn't even my dad. So like,
wait a minute. So the father that raised you wasn't your dad. Who was your
father?
Who was this person? Do you know who this person was?
I ended up finding him, and the part that baffles me is, this part doesn't baffle me. He's definitely was like a womanizer. I have 5 half siblings, and they have different mothers. Not all of them, but there's a total of 3 other mothers. And he remembers all of his children, but he doesn't remember my mother, which is the really, really weird part. Is doesn't even remember her at all. So I don't even understand it.
Now, your mother, and interesting, as I listen to your story, and this is Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon, the host. Your mother, in the dream part of it, came or had a relationship with somebody from off planet, correct? Or am I misinterpreting that?
No, they were saying that she was one with the earth.
She was one of the earth. So
basically,
can you tell me who they are who were saying this?
I'm going to think it was the Pleiadians. And the reason why, and the reason why I feel this, and this is before I even knew this existed, was I was a child. This is another experience that I would have. I would go outside and stare up at the sky. And I vividly remember one night staring at the sky and saying, home, that's home. And then the word Pleiades came out of my mouth. And I kept that to myself until I got into high school and found out that Pleiades was an actual thing. Right. And I didn't know it was an actual thing or a place. I'm 42. There wasn't Google when I was,
Right.
you know,
Right. How would you
going through
know?
school.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any information about this, and that's what made me go, okay, that's really weird because I thought I made that up.
But
So
yeah, as you got older and all the information came to you, there is the seven sisters, and it's kind of funny. My last guest, Barbara, had contact 20 years ago, and proceeding with her story, I just was sharing with her how to make contact with her space family from the Pleiades
yeah.
star system, seven sisters. And you're mentioning Pleiadian again, so it's sort of a theme happening here, which is very interesting. And so your dream isn't so much a dream as it is a reality. I call that a cosmic dream, meaning that it's supposed to look like a dream, but it's not a dream. If you can remember that from so many years ago, you still remember the specific details. That's not a dream. A dream is something that is fly by night, like they get up the next day and you remember a little bit of a dream and then it's gone forever. This is not a dream. This is where this actually happened in another conscious state beyond where you were when you went to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. And
It's real.
I don't know if this even relates to this. I'll just provide this as added context. But when I was growing up, I was I'll call it spiritual person. Just like obsessed with it. Like I felt like that's what I was meant to do. And I spent a lot of years focusing on like energy work and healing work and all of that. And then one day in my mid 30s, I just stopped because I had the realization that, there's no demonstrable evidence that what I'm doing is actually helping anyone or, God forbid if I even harm somebody with this practice. And because I couldn't, I guess the ego in me, like I couldn't control, outcomes 100%, I walked away from it and have never done it again and kind of just become like atheist,
Well, you know what? You have to understand something. And again, because I work with the Ashtar Command, I come beyond. Before there was any social media, I've been working as an adult with the Ashtar Command, which are the positive beings of light. On Earth, things get confusing here, so you could become whatever you become. But in truth, a God, which does exist on Earth, they distort God on this planet so much so. Thank you, that it makes people want to not become a believer in the existence of a creator. But God does exist. God off planet where I come from, Mars, and all the planetary people that I deal with in the Ashtar Command live on planets, and all the planetary systems are created by God. Every universe, every solar system, every dimension of existence, and it's a beautiful thing. But on Earth, it becomes so much a thing where you become, because of the Earth-based religions distorting the cosmic understanding of God, which they never talk about, people get disinterested in the concept of a creator, which there is a creator of the whole universe. That creator is based on light, based on unconditional love, based on harmony. That's the God that I know coming from beyond Earth. And so if you were to say to yourself that you don't have to be an atheist, if you just say to yourself, oh, that's what God is. God is a cosmic being, a cosmic creator of all the multiverse, which is God is always creating love and light. On Earth, we distort that a lot because of all these Earth-based religions. That has done a disservice to you and a lot of people. I went out of Earth-based religion. On my Earth-based religion, I went to Hebrew school. I dropped out of that. I stopped believing it. I didn't believe I had to do that anymore. Now, and that's also when I started having encounters with space people and having, when you have encounters with somebody from space that are men and women that are telepathic, and you see a spaceship in a cul-de-sac when you're a kid, I think that's going to pretty much shake the foundation up of whatever your belief systems are that you're told to believe. And it did. Now, I didn't become an atheist, but I did become more activated in my knowledge as I got older. I became way more knowledgeable about who I was, where I came from, came out of the closet 21 years ago without a hesitation on my radio show on NPR radio and said I was from Mars and said I'm not from this planet. Yeah, I am human, just like you are, but I do know who I am, and I've never regretted it, So when I talk about God, I talk about God as a universal creator of all life throughout the multiverse. It's a very beautiful thing, but on Earth, it becomes not beautiful because of all these Earth-based religions beating people over the head It takes away the beauty that people don't see. And if you look at it from my perspective, now that I'm talking about God in a different way, you can see it's a way more beautiful experience. If you do go back into not being an atheist and just looking at God from a cosmic level, it's way different than the earth-based definition.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
It's different.
And I guess
it's different.
It's more fair to say I'm agnostic, I suppose, because I don't claim to definitively know 100% that nothing, is out there, because I don't know.
Right.
But
you are
guess
there is a Pleiadian contact part of this, which would actually part you do know, because the Pleiadian word Pleiadian in your consciousness is because there is a connection to the stars for you. You are connected.
And that kind of
leads, you want to admit it or not, you are.
Yeah, and that leads kind of into my next question, because I always recalled that dream and thought, well, if I moved away, like, how are they going to find me? Well, now I'm back in the house where the experience happens, and like I'm here, and so that's a little weird for me. But like, I don't know what they mean when they said they would come back for me. Do they just mean they're going to come back and like give me another cosmic dream?
I'm going to help you. One of the things I do in my show is I'm not just a talk show host. I have the ability to do different things here on a cosmic level that help people. And so I'd like to help you out here. Do you want to make contact with the Pleiadians? You are connected to them.
I do, but I don't know why I'm like scared. I don't know why.
Don't be scared. That's your mind is scared. You're not scared. Your mind is scared. The mental part of your brain is scared. Your physical, spiritual being will not be scared. If you tell your mind to stop being scared, just say to your mind, okay, say it right now. Matter of fact, this is a good time to say it. Okay, just say to yourself, okay, mind, I want you to stop telling me I'm scared. Can you say that right now?
Okay, mind, I want you to stop telling me that I'm scared.
We're going to do this again. This is going to be a little practice here. Okay, mind, I want you to know I am not scared. Stop it.
Okay, mind, I want you to stop telling me I'm scared. Stop it.
There you go. That's perfect. Now, the next thing we're going to do, you want to make contact with the Pleiadians. I'm going to help you here know how to do that. And when you say I'm not scared, you say it with meaning. You say it with force. You say it with, I really am not scared. I'm not scared at all.
I know what my fear is. My fear is when they said they would come back for me, I just figured they would just come and take me. They would just come take me away. And
they're not going to take you away. What they're going to do is come back and have a relationship with you, but they'll never take you away.
Okay.
Just that helps. They're not going to take you away. They want to come back. When they say they're going to take you, they're going to take you probably to learn things about the Pleiadian people, and no, they're not going to take you away.
Okay.
So here's the thing. So now that you know that they're not going to physically take you, and you're not going to be able to come back to Earth, that's a very different dynamic here. So what you're going to do is, and I'm going to say this because this is so important in my discipline of teaching people things, is when I say to you, and I said to Barbara, you're going to say, I'm a Christed being of light, and you got to say it with meaning. This is going to help make the contact happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you repeat, I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
I wish to make contact with my Pleiadian family.
I wish to make contact with my Pleiadian family.
I am not scared to make contact with my Pleiadian family.
I am not scared to make contact with Pleiadian family. I'm sorry, I'm getting really emotional.
It's okay. Let it out. It's okay on my show to do that, okay? And I love you.
And I love you.
And they love you too. They love you more than you even know. I'm getting feelings of energy from them. They love you so much more than you even know. They were just waiting for you to say that. And they are going to, through meditation, they will come back and they will visit you, and you'll have beautiful experiences. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm getting very strong feelings, and they will definitely come back because they love you too. Did you know that you are connected to them? You have a biological cosmic family from the Pleiadians that you are connected with.
Yeah, I've always felt that.
Yeah, so you are connected with them. I feel, my emotions are going like, I'm feeling your emotions. I feel you are so much loved. I just want you to know that.
I agree with that.
See? And it's going to be okay. You know, I'm always going to be here for you because I will not be one of these people that will not be here. I will be here for you because I care about you.
Thank you.
You know?
That was a lot.
I know it's a lot. You've been holding a lot back, trying to convince yourself that I'm this, I'm that, but you're very much loved. And they love you. They've been just holding back because you've been holding back. But you don't have to worry anymore. You really don't. So I want you to meditate. And when you meditate, I want you to focus. I want you to tell your mind not to interfere with you. Because the human mind tends to interfere with the spiritual beingness of a human person. It's the worst thing when the human mind does that because it makes you confused. But no more confusion. You just revealed who you are. You're letting your emotions out, which is a beautiful thing. And you now can be the person that you really are, which you are connected to the stars and you are connected to the Pleiadians. And they will contact you, very much so.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you're going to use telepathy. You're going to use your consciousness to communicate with them. And when you do, they will come to you and they will, when you're ready, they will physically, if you tell them, I'm physically ready to meet you, they will meet you physically in your house. They will come to you. They can actually come through the molecular structure of your physical environment. They can actually just appear.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. It's very cool. You know, so I want to tell you, the commander, I send my love to you, and it comes from my heart that I'm able to help you here. You know, you've touched my heart.
Thank you so
You've
much.
touched my heart.
I really needed that release, apparently.
No, yes. We were going to get there somehow. I knew we were
Yeah.
going to get there somehow during your story. That's why I'm here. You know, I don't do this quick interview. I'm not going for ratings or whatever. I'm here to help people. You know, and I want you to know you're loved. They love you. They will probably start communicating with you. A matter of fact, I'm going to do something for you tonight. Give me a moment. I'm going to do something that's different. And I feel the energy of my family, the Ashtar Command, around me. I have them here with me. I want to gift you a gift that's going to help your contact.
Okay.
I'm going to send 2 Ashtar Command people to your house. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. This is going to be my gift to you. Okay?
Okay.
As you close your eyes, I want you to just take a deep breath in and breathe out through your nostril about 3 or 4 times, please. And when you're done, please let me know.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to keep your eyes closed. I want to have a ship come over your location. And for this, it's a positive experience. We're not dealing with what I've done in the past with other situations. But yours is going to be a beautiful thing here. I'm going to send 1 man and 1 woman from our ship into your home. They'll be there in a nanosecond. As a matter of fact, they're there right now. So I want you to keep your eyes closed. The men and women, they're usually about 7.5, 8 feet tall. And keep your eyes closed, please. They're going to come close to you. When you start feeling some sort of an energy, a feeling of energy going through in the room, let me know.
My eyes are closed and I feel really compelled to open them, but I'm not.
No.
But
I'm going to have the woman do something that's going to help activate your memory, your cosmic memory. She's going to actually touch you on the neck area. I'm asking the woman to do that now, to touch the space woman from the command, to touch you on the neck. She's able to help activation, and she's going to touch you in a very gentle way, and you're going to feel something in a minute or 2. Keep your eyes closed, please. From the neck area, she's going to touch you on the top of your head as I'm tapping my head. I'm communicating with them telepathically. If you're ready to show her what you can do, please tap her on the, touch her top of the head until she feels it. You might feel vibration, a tingling sensation, some sort of energy that you're going to feel. You're already feeling something already. I know that.
I just feel whoosh, like it's the best way I could describe it, like a whooshing.
Yeah, whoosh, like a whooshing, yeah, like a flow of air, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's all around me.
Yes, it is. She's activating she's activating you to remember many more things than you remember. She's activating you on a conscious level so that when you do connect with your Pleiadian family, it's going to make it a lot easier now. So my gift to you is that they're doing activations of your cellular structure, of your DNA, of your internal DNA, and you'll be able to facilitate communications with your Pleiadian family a lot easier now that they're here to help you. The spaceman, the Ashtar commander, the spaceman, he's going to also activate you as well. He's going to touch your right shoulder.
I was just going to ask you if he was at my right side because I could feel something at my right side.
Yes, he's standing on your right side right now, right behind you, and he is now activating another part of your activation, touching your right area. Absolutely correct. They're going to stay with you tonight. They'll stay with you for 24 hours and then go back on the ship and then go back to off planet. But they're going to stay with you tonight. They're going to do some activation work with you, which is beautiful. And you'll be able to make contact easier with your Pleiadian star family, much easier now that they're there with you. They might also, the woman might reveal herself to you tonight a little bit so you can see her. She's very beautiful. She's about 7.5 feet tall. She might, just before they leave, reveal herself to you. And you'll have, just so you have memory of them, they'll just want to show you who they are if they wish to do so. So if that happens, that's another blessing that you get to see them. Other than that, that's my gift to you.
Thank you. Do I have to keep my eyes closed still?
No, you can open them now.
Okay.
Open your eyes. You probably can feel their energy. They're right next to you, essentially.
I feel like just cool air. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're right there. You'll feel a cool air sensation. Yes. Yeah. Now you have nothing to be afraid of anymore. Ever.
Thank you. I really needed that. Like more than I realized.
Mm-hmm. Well, I knew that. As I listened to stories, I read people's energy, and I knew what I needed to do here. So I'm glad you came on here.
Me too.
Justine, you're a blessing. Keep me informed of what happens in the future with the Pleiadians, okay?
Will do. Thank you so much.
Everyone, give us a good hand for Justine for being on the show. Thank you, Justine.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do this here. And we want to thank Justine for coming on. We really love her. She's a beautiful being of light, and she's going to have some very beautiful contact with her Pleiadian family. That's what we do here, folks. This is why this show is what it is. Everything I do is real. Everything I do is real. I don't have any crystal balls or pendulums or, cards throwing in the air or neon lights. I'm as real as it gets here. And I work and I do the mission work as a radio host for 21 years, as a talk show host. This is going to be one of the few places beyond even YouTube or anything else on the subject where this is actually happening. So thank you. Awakened Visual Sky Phenomena says it was taken in 1969. 1969, they were taken. Oh, Catherine, thank you. So we're interested in more stories here. I mean, it's been an amazing night so far, pretty amazing stories and helping people. Karen says, I've been watching the commander since he came on TikTok. His story has never varied. I find him believable. Thank you, Karen. Awakened Visual Phenomena. I like to watch Star Trek. Why won't they reveal themselves to us? Would love to see them. I think they are going. Now you think, Zaina, they will reveal themselves to us, but they're doing it on an individual basis. There will be what we call contact happening in a year and a half from now, where there will be major revelations of the star people. So yeah, that will be coming. Thank you, Karen. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Hollywood, good to see you. I feel law 12873. I feel, see, but don't understand. Huh. And if you have a story that you wish to share, again, you have to be over 18, no children on screen, no smoking, no drugs, no drinking, no cursing or foul language, and no paranormal discussion. My first flight was at JCPenney parking lot in California. Awakened Visual Sky Phenomena. Let's see here. Awakened Visual Sky Phenomena. We're going to invite you on the show here, and we're going to start from whatever the beginning time of your experience was. If you wish to come on, Awakened Visual Sky Phenomena. We're at about 59,000 likes. We want to get up to another 50,000. Can we have everybody tap the screen? So if you tap my profile on my picture as I'm speaking, you'll increase the hearts. So all the hearts you're seeing, okay? You can increase the hearts by tapping. So everybody tap to get us to 100,000 likes tonight. Awakened Visual Sky Phenomena, welcome to the show. Can you give us your first name?
I'm David.
David, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm actually born in Boise, Idaho. I'm living now in Livermore, California, home of the Livermore Lab. And, when we first got here, we were in Pleasanton, which is the next town over. But now, but my parents, when they brought us here, my dad had divorced and the families were broken up. But right before we got here from Hayward to this new place here near Livermore in 69, I had just come from Boise, and then the couple nights I was there, the first couple nights.
Sorry,
I'm
gonna play my movie.
But I'm on the. Let me go on this show real quick, okay? And I'll be right back then.
Over and over and over, Parrot.
It's hard dealing with this stuff, sir, because a lot of people aren't really on the same page as everybody else.
Well, on this show, everybody is. It's a way different. But go ahead.
Right. Okay. So what had happened to me was, I woke up because I used to wet the bed, and it was a big problem for me, and I did it till I was early, like almost in my teens. Okay, but at that point I was like 7 years old, and it was in this new family construct, pretty much in a new home, and was kind of traumatized over everything. But that night, one of those nights, I didn't wake up. I woke up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with all my clothes on, and was on the floor, and the door was shut, and we never shut that door. And the funny thing was I was with or they had the new landlord of our place that we had rented, or my dad rented and set up for us to live there. But and I was going to go out and say, hey, what happened to me? Because I really felt like, oh my God, I was taken or something like this. Okay, because it just felt like, where did I go? I felt like I was gone for a long time, and being that my clothes were long, shoes, socks, t-shirt, belt, everything that I wouldn't normally wear as a young kid. And I get up and I systematically open the door and walk out into the living room. My parents, oddly enough, had the new landlord there where they were talking about the agreements and everything. And I was going to say, what happened to me? Where did I go? And I thought about it, and I thought about just saying, wait until to see if they ask me a question like, where were you, David? Okay,
Right.
so I went towards the door. They didn't say anything, and I kept going. I went outside the door, out in the backyard, and there was this, they were going to build a mobile home park behind this house that we were living in. And my older brother was out there, and there was a bunch of the neighbor kids tearing this thing down because they were going to tear it down anyway. And it was this old junky shack. And I went up there, like a beeline. Where did I go? What happened to me? I had these questions. And so I want to know. I'm getting chills right now all over my legs. So they're listening.
It sounds like you had missing time.
I did. But
I know that.
This is such an amazing story because it goes into what's happening in the political scene right now too in Space Force. Okay, because it's just the details of this. Now, what had happened was the next day we were going to go see our new school across the street at our house where we lived at the new home. And my mom said, go and play at the new swings at your new school. So my brother went, and he was going to go jump on the swing, and he says, push me, Davy. And I stepped into the sandbox, and something said, stop, dig right here. And so I was like, okay. So I dug right there, like 3 scoops in the sand, and it dug up a torn up $50 bill and a bunch of coins. So they were like, I was like, whoa, somebody told me to dig right here, and look what happened. Okay, so things like that started to happen to me, and it kept happening up until I was like in my 20s, after high school, a couple years after high school, and I was living with my parents, and all my friends knew about me and all the possibilities of what might be going on and what could be coming was in all of our minds. And so one day I come home from driving my new 68 Barracuda around with no stereo in it. And I'm driving on 680 freeway right behind where I live right now. This is 25 years ago or so.
25 years ago, okay.
I'm right here right now telling you the story that on the freeway right behind my fence was where God told me, back up, that tire's going to come off. I was right next to a semi. There was chills heavy again. And he told me, back up, the tire's going to come off. And I took my foot off the gas, let the truck go. And this tire, all the lug nuts and everything sheared off. And the whole truck tire bounced in front of me like 30 feet in the air a couple times, diagonally across the highway. And missed everybody. Almost just cleared this one car that was almost hit it from the front coming on forward at it, and it bounced a couple times more, and it landed right behind the Sears Auto Center. And the chain link fence caught it like a baseball glove. It looked like a home plate, like, and it kind of just hung in the air like that. So I pulled the truck over, and I told him I didn't tell anybody. Well, here's what happened. So I pulled the truck over, got him out, and I said, your tire came off. But I didn't tell him God told me everything.
Right,
So,
you're not going to say that, right.
But I told him, it's over there at Sears Auto Center. You can probably get a new tire right there where your old one is, behind the building.
Right.
So later on, when I rent this home up here in the same area, right behind where this happened, and my landlord's name is Pence, okay? So, and I'm in this area they built for the CIA, for the lab workers, for Livermore Lab, and my landlord, his name is Pence, that worked at the lab at the very top spot of the hill of the mountain on this complex. That's Moses. Okay. So now in my dreams that I was having, these astral dreams started happening where I was Moses. And I remember holding a stick, but I was still a kid. And I was like, what am I doing with this stick? There's meteors going everywhere. I'm by this giant river. There's people standing there going, what do we do, David? What do we do? And I was Davy. I wasn't Moses, but I had a stick, and I went, what am I doing? Oh, was I Moses? Is this why they took me? And I was questioning it in the astral, and and so I said, everybody get into the water. I think this is what happens. The water's supposed to split, and you were
So
across.
you also had the missing time, and we're hopefully going to get. You have a lot of things that are going on here too. So go ahead.
True, because if they took me and I did the 20 and back thing that they have in the space program, that would entail being like a Marty McFly character who was set up with Trump's cousin, which that's what ends up happening with me in this home where he comes and visits me. And
Now, is this in the dream?
No, this is real.
Okay, so
the work that I've done led me into that area because it goes into a space program, and then it goes into the beginning of the human race, and it goes into
the space program. So I'm familiar with the whole thing of the Space Force, which is basically a thing to be used against positive space and star people. Because I work with I know this for a fact. I mean, there's a lot I do know. So you were involved in? Were you employed by this space program?
No, I consider myself a clandestine operator because if I was taken as a young kid and did this 20 back without anybody or my friends knowing about it, and then all these fantastic things happen to me, it may be something they have planned, and I may be already a biblical figure because all the other stuff I can't really talk to you about puts me into the idea that the biblical players in those stories are in bodies right now again for these times. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I would say though, because if you will listen to my show or watch it, I came to Earth from Mars. I came from beyond Earth.
I've been listening to you for 20 years, sir.
20 years is a long time. You looked at my radio show, right?
Oh yeah.
Back when we were in the beginnings, yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff going on. Art Bell and I mean, I'm an alumni.
Yeah.
So yeah. I remember you. I was like, I don't know how to talk to you, and I didn't have really any. This took a lot of practice, and the dialogue comes to. Let me talk about the Bible, and if you follow, so if I just say God was the one that was behind me in that seat on the freeway, who else am I going to say? Like who? If it was Space Force, then I'm like discounting God. Well, at the same time, I could go, well, God's the one that allowed Space Force, and here's what happened. Okay, now, after I got taken when I was a kid, and I knew this happened, and Kennedy was shot, and then RFK was shot, okay? So I was like knowing this stuff at like 7, okay? And when they were doing the playbacks of RFK being shot, and then the reruns of JFK Jr. walking out saluting his dad, all this stuff that's in culture, pop culture, I was like on top of it like a commander. I was like, look what's going on. So, wait, I just lost my train of thought. My cat came out here. I'm on the radio with Commander Aleon.
Well, not on the radio. You listen to me on Sunday mornings, but you're watching me now on Encounters, which is our TV program, so to speak. Yeah.
Let's see. So basically, here's what I think has happened with me was that there's a lot of people. I think that all the people in that biblical story of Christ and is how Christ did this, and the Trump family is convoluted, and
Yeah,
it's not really
we try to
named.
stay away from these political
No,
people.
I know, but
But
it's
go
not
ahead.
really political. But it's like world. It is like it's gonna shape other realms as well, because it's gonna actually set them free. For this information that I'm giving you is actually what's going to happen soon. It's going to be a huge celebration in a giant, like, Marty McFly movie that's going to end. That's all like coordinated to wake you up slowly and then scare the crap out of you and then go, oh, it was a big story. It's all the end of this stuff that we just took care of with Space Force that was already weaponized, that we had to go do it undercover without you knowing it, and then put it into the government apparatus. Everybody's
Now, so
laughing.
let me just put it this way. What's gonna,
Yeah.
if you really want to know, and I know you've listened to me on the radio, we're having situations, because I work with the Ashtar Command, unrelated to the Space Force, which is Earth-based stuff, which is negative. There's going to be a revelation within a year and a half from now. Originally, it was in 2027. So let me throw this into the loop here. There's going to be contact with our space family, which are spiritual men and women from other planetary systems, and this is going to take away all the garbage of belief systems on Earth, including religion. One of the things,
Right.
is that religion will not exist anymore. As we understand religion to exist on Earth, it has basically polluted people's consciousness for billions of years, and not just current human history. So once all the politics is out of it, all the shopping malls don't exist, all the religions don't exist. There's only going to be one religion that exists. And guess
Right,
what?
but
That religion's going to be the religion of love, unconditional love,
Right.
light, and
Right.
understanding. That's essentially it.
That's going to win, and that's what God meant by, God always wins. Okay, and in Revelations, that's how the story ends as well. So I mean, we're kind of like, this whole sting operation is kind of an educational, a giant movie, okay, if you will. And the information and some of the events have already been taken care of, and the information is going to come out slowly and very gently because of they didn't want to break realms, but we're going to go into what should have been happening before some other buildings went down, and that's about all I'm going to say about that.
And let me just put it this way. This is really important to understand. And I have people on the inside that I know personally, and I already know stuff. I get downloads all the time directly, and I know what's happening. The things like the Pentagon's UFO group and all these other things that are going on, people don't have to wait for, as I always will say this now, what I tell people to do is don't wait for the Pentagon, the Ministry of Defense, or the Chinese government to tell you about disclosure. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to go within meditation. You have to learn to do, in my workshops, I teach people how to connect with their star family, and anybody can do it, but they got to be disciplined.
Correct.
They have to just really focus. If they don't focus, the mind is going to, the mind is the first thing that will block you from making contact with your star family. It's your mind. It's not you, it's your brain.
Remember the song that has the words, you got to get in to get out? It's a Peter Gabriel song, I think.
Oh, yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, it's one of those secrets that you should have listened a little bit closer to that song.
Yeah, I mean, people need to just really learn to connect with that level.
Right.
All right. Well, getting up to 1:30 in the morning, it's getting late. But I want to thank you, man, for coming on here and sharing a little bit of your story.
Let's talk some more. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Commander.
Okay, Awaken. All right, my friend. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Let's see what else we got going here. We might do maybe one or two more interviews. Maybe one or two more. Cancer Fighter, welcome. And it's good to have everybody with us here. I think I saw April come in here. Hello, April, if you're still here. I started popping in here for a minute. Let's see if she's still here. Cancer Fighter says they'll come on. Let's see, who do we have in here? And please tell us a little bit about your folks when you want to come on. give me a little bit about your background. We're almost at 90,000 likes. So I'd love to hear. Hey, Jay. Hello. Good morning. I should say good morning out there. Jay, good to have you with us. Good morning. There's so many comments I can miss some stuff here. I haven't started them up yet. I'll be doing them in Connecticut soon, but I will start them up. My uncle worked at Area 51. Oh, interesting. We're going to bring Cancer Fighter up. Cancer Fighter's uncle worked at Area 51. Again, you have to be over 18. No children on the show. No smoking on the show. No drugs. Everything. No cursing on the show. No paranormal discussion.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Cancer Fighter. And what's your first name?
My name is Kevin.
Kevin, nice to meet you here on the #1 show on UFO encounters in terms of the spiritual levels. And so you said one of your family members worked at Area 51, correct? Your uncle?
Yes, my Uncle Richard Brown. He worked at Area 51. He did mostly electronics on the stealth bomber, and in a hangar. It was called Sanders before it was sold to Lockheed Martin, and
Okay.
He did mostly electronics. It was the right place at the right time. He went to Penn State University, graduated first of electronics and everything else, and he has top secret clearance and the stuff that my aunt and my uncle talked about stuff and you know how you have these what do you call them? Spy movies with a briefcase and sachet case. This was exactly. He had a private jet that he was Nashua, New Hampshire, before it was Lockheed Martin. It was Sanders, and he took this briefcase and he flew down to Area 51 in a hangar base from Sanders. We what I get is we reversed the technology from spaceships a long time ago and fiber optics and stuff like that, and so that's what's going on. People.
Did he ever give you like the detailed information? Like for example, if he worked at Area 51, did he ever talk about the different levels at Area 51 in terms of any extraterrestrial intelligence working with scientists at the base?
Well, he didn't speak to like me particular about that. He talked to my aunt and while I was in the room, and I guess he thought I was just mindless and brainless, I guess, or whatever. Like I wasn't listening. But yeah, I mean, there's underground levels. Yes, there's spaceships. There's what I've heard is there's about 6 of them, 7 of them. One was dug up from thousands of years ago. They just came across that one, but they have some spaceships from years ago that. But
when you say years ago, can you like elaborate more on what you mean by years ago?
Well, I guess there's many species. What I gathered, and one of the species from these alien spaceships probably died out or something, or they were crash land, or they didn't have the propulsion, or they didn't have the power to take flight again for some odd reason, while they stumbled on our planet, and they just after a couple thousand years, it was buried in the dirt and everything, and they dug it up just by just by someone explorer, and they shut him up. But yeah, I mean,
when you say they shut him up, can you say who they shut up?
No, I can't say who they shut up, sir.
Okay.
They shut. I mean, whoever found that years ago, yeah, they shut him up. When my uncle was getting married to my aunt was it used to work for the what was it first off, she started at oh god the Octagon, what's that, she used to work at the anyways, then she worked at Space Newaygo, New York Space Guidance Center.
Okay.
and before NASA came about, and she used to be personal secretary of Buzz Aldrin, Gus Grissom, and so
Really
she had,
interesting.
yeah, she had top secret clearance, and it was a colored code top secret clearance at the Pentagon. There you go, the Pentagon. She started at the Pentagon, and then they asked her to come to Newego, New York, Space Guidance Center before NASA. And then she was manager. I forget what kind of manager she was at the Nashua. It was Sanders before it was Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's where she met him and married him. And the owner of Sanders was there, and she said to me, Kevin, I never felt so scared in my life because she was pulled away by Sanders, the guy that's the top secret, and she says he said to her, if he dies at Area 51, they're going to make it look like a car accident. That's what they do.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they do. So I was like, damn. But the things that my aunt told me, my uncle told me, just, specific stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like help building the stealth bomber, doing the electronics, stuff like that. My uncle was so top secret that he had to have 2 MPs when he was getting drilling in his mouth when he was put to sleep. He had to have 2 MPs in the room anytime he gets put to sleep because in fear of if he says something. So.
Oh, really? The MPs were put in the room, so if they weren't in there, he might say something that he's not supposed to say, correct?
Yes.
Interesting. That makes sense. I mean, if I were in that environment, that makes complete sense.
Yep. And like I said, my aunt passed, God bless her. But before she passed, she told me a lot of stuff, man. And then my uncle too. I mean, he told me some things, but he didn't specifically talk about the aliens itself. He just said that we reversed their technology. And then he said something that was like, just. It's made sense. Like, how the hell you think that we got all this technology like just so quickly, and
Right.
why are we trying to we've reversed some of their technology, but we don't have their iron. We don't have their special material for heat resistance, for skid resistance of the ocean. So that's why our government has been trying to go on asteroids that come through a different solar system and land on that and grab some material there to see if we can't do any iron ore.
So we're trying to duplicate them what these system materials are made of, essentially,
yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we just don't have the tech. We don't have the fundamental fiber optics that they have from their planet. We don't have the rocks. We don't have these alien aircraft, right? When they go into oceans, they're so slick, and none of our stealth our stealth ships technology can't go as inside as if it was just cut through butter.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's always a force that's going to stop it. So we've got so much technology and we've known so much about these aliens, and no one wants to know. I mean, he's talking about, and this is my uncle. He says, until the day people rise up and ask, and people are just, they don't want to know. They want to go about their business, make their money, make their babies and stuff like that. When I was talking to him, he says nobody wants to know, and that's given us the, the plus. And then, if someone, just one person out of a million wants to ask questions, they shut them up. You know what I mean? It just,
So they what they do basically because they can get away with it because the public doesn't rise up and say, wait a minute, we don't like this anymore. You got to tell us the truth.
Yep, and they don't want to know. I mean, I've never met anybody like. I'm going to say something real quick, and I'm going to be honest. This is me, and you can call me crazy or whatever, but
I'll never call anybody on the show crazy. But go ahead.
This was just I was in South Florida. I'm not going to say where it was. but I met myself a shapeshifter. I mean, you guys, this is nothing to do with my uncle or anything like that.
Right,
But
right.
the way, and I swear to God on the Bible, and you can give me a lie detector test. I was, making an ass out of myself or whatever, making a joke out of myself. I'm going to say it that way. And I was bothering someone. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have, but the person leaned forward, and as if they were trying to mind melt me or whatever the hell, I seen the eyes as, the slits going up and down, and
Right.
I'm like their eyes changed. I'm like, what the? I'm like,
Blank.
okay.
Yeah.
I swear to God on the Bible, so help me God, dude, I will take a lie detector test. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I don't know if they thought, I was, an idiot or something. I don't know what, like these are not the droids you're looking for type scenario. And I was like, and I finally get to tell someone, and I've been holding this in. I get to tell someone about this, and it, like, I literally, and I swear to God on the Bible that this happened to me. And I'm like, because they leaned forward. I'll never forget, and it was a woman too. Leaned forward, a woman, and leaned forward, and her eyes went up and down like a cat's eye. I'm like, oh, and I stuck back. And I think maybe it was trying to think that my mind wasn't, or I'll forget about it, or they were trying to manipulate my mind. I don't know what, but bro, I mean, oh my God.
No, you weren't
this
crazy.
Was scary.
There's many stories of shapeshifters who are human, who are actually not human, but human in form. So you're not crazy at all. I've heard stories like this before. So you're not
she
crazy.
She was working, and I was just bugging her and everything else, just trying to make content, because I'm a people person. I like to talk, and I guess I was being annoying. And this person was working, and like, okay, you can go now. You know what I mean, like that. And then she. I'll never forget it. She shut up for a minute or two, and then I was just talking. Then she got annoyed or something. She leaned forward, and she goes, "It's time for you to go." And I think maybe she thought I was brain whatever, and telling me it's time to go, and push me out with her mind screw up or whatever she was pulling with me. But man, when you seen those eyes, you'd be like, "Yep, that," like, and I didn't say nothing to her. I just said, all right, I'm leaving. But I made it look like I knew, like, meaning, like, but her eyes were of like cat eyes. You know how at night the cat eyes, dude, that was, whoo. I'm so glad I got this off my chest. But man, it was one alien I met, and I'll never forget it. But I never went back towards that, where she was working and whatever.
Right.
I don't understand it, but to literally, show me her eyes like that, I was like, all right, that's pretty.
It was very revealing. I mean, when you see that, yeah, absolutely.
What I think was maybe, my mind's not like some other people's, and she's like, you know what, she was trying to mind melt me, or these aren't the droids you were looking for, that kind of stuff, man. And I like I said, man, I'll take a lie detector test. I will swear on the Bible. I'm a huge Christian, and I was like, oh boy. I held this in for such a long time, but yeah, anyways, but my uncle though, he was a great guy. He was a real great guy, and he did a lot for Lockheed Martin after Sanders. He was hired by Sanders, but he was in there for Lockheed Martin.
And Lockheed Martin has been involved with reverse engineered technology from extraterrestrial crashed spaceships.
Yep. And we've had. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I've had people on the inside who've told me this. There's scalar technology. We use scalar technology, which is basically a frequency energy to, when we can do it, we try to take down these spaceships, these extraterrestrial craft, and we've done it over the last 40, 50 years with what they call scalar technology.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, he told me, he told my aunt, and and I was in the room, and the things that he said, that the technology we have right now, we can rebuild these spacecrafts and make it not better, but equal. But we don't have the fibers. We don't have the metals. We don't have the metal to go into like the end, like the Titanic. They have
Right.
the alien spacecrafts can go as far as straight down to the floor of the trench, Mariana Trench, and not have
Right.
any dents in it. And we don't have that metal, and we're searching for it, and that's why.
And beyond the metal, we don't have the consciousness. So human consciousness, now again, a lot of the stuff that we're shooting down could be, again, when you're dealing with extraterrestrial spaceships, we don't have, even if we have the metal, we don't have the understanding of how a civilization goes from point A to point B. And again, a lot of the craft that we shoot down are primarily from the Zeta. Actually, the Zeta have been working, as well as the reptilians were involved in this with Area 51, with our government, since Eisenhower. And also we've actually shot down over the last 50 years actual non-terrestrial craft. Roswell, New Mexico was one of those situations. There's been other situations in that same year, 1947, where multiple craft were taken down by a scalar technology. So
San Francisco.
whatever advancements we have made with the reverse engineered chips, we cannot do what any civilization beyond Earth can do, because they are way more advanced in terms of the things they do. Now, it'll work on an Earth-based level, yeah. It'll definitely be way quicker than anything we've ever seen in our lives. But that particular Earth-based UFO craft that we're creating with the reverse engineered technology will be able to go, probably traveling out of our planetary system, Earth, but it will be limited in terms of how far out in the scope of things it can go, but because of the human consciousness.
And what I've got gathered as well is some of these aliens do not like us having this technology, and they do not want us to have their spaceships. Reason being is, could you imagine someone? I'm going to use it, Afghani, from Afghanistan. The way they're angry. You get what I'm saying? Pal. You know what I'm saying? Having a spaceship and they use it for different, for
Right.
war. And they don't want us to have that, and
Right.
sometimes they try dismantling it as much as they can before we get
Right.
once it's broken down. That's why some of
Right.
the ones that were buried and stuff, they didn't
Yeah.
think that we would have found it, but like
Right.
just saying, some guy,
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, well, I always tell people this: there aren't anything called aliens. It's basically an Earth. I even used to use the word. It's an Earth-based terminology created through things like Discovery, Travel Channel, and History. When
Yes.
they have documentaries, they use the word alien, and that was induced into our consciousness by our media. What there are basically non-terrestrial. I used to like the word. I try to get people to use the word other than alien, that they're non-terrestrial beings, space beings, star beings, beings from beyond Earth. So if you say non-terrestrial, that's what they really are. And the thing is, if we do have the technology to have spaceships, first of all, the human race is limited, not totally limited. We've actually traveled to Jupiter and back in 25 minutes in a top secret program, which my friend in the Department of Defense last year told me about, and she was on my show. And they do this secretly. They do it in the Midwest. There's a secret base where they send a spaceship out into, and they've been able to test it. They've actually had one or two or three times the pilots that were Air Force pilots trained to do these ships. They actually died because of things happening with the technology and with the breathing ability and so forth. But we've done 25 trips, probably more than that now, we've been to Jupiter and back, I'm sorry, in 25 minutes. And
Yeah.
how many people know that story? I know this to be true because I have a contact on the inside who's involved in the Department of Defense.
Well, the dark side of the moon is actually real, and my aunt was a personal of Neil Armstrong. She was a personal secretary at New York Space Guidance Center, and she had the duties of stenographer, and she was in there for the top secret clearance of Neil Armstrong, Gus Grissom, all the astronauts that came back from outer space, and specifically she was telling me about when they came back one time, that they seen the aliens, just well, not the aliens per se, the spacecraft, and it was multiple.
They saw extraterrestrial spacecraft on the dark side of the moon.
Yes, 100%.
And this is a contact, someone who knew these people within who you know?
My aunt personally
Your
was
aunt.
in the room.
In the room.
Yes.
This is interesting.
I will show you her. I will send you a link to her obituary, but only for you. So
okay.
You will,
I appreciate that.
You will see for yourself that I'm legit. What I say.
No, I believe you are legit, and I always like getting information, and I'll definitely honor that, and I'd love to have you do that to me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Like I said, I just don't want it, because my mom's still around, and I don't want anything to happen to my family, because
no. We want to protect our audience, our guests, but any disclosure you have, I think it's important that we be bold enough to be disclosure, because we've had enough lies for over 70 years with the Pentagon, where one of the things you're going to find about me is, let's see here.
I completely understand what you're saying, sir. And like I said, my family, my mother, she's in her 70s, later 70s, and she's not doing too well, and I just lost my brother as well, so I'm
sorry to hear that. My condolences to you for that. I mean,
he was
definitely
murdered.
Oh, we won't get into that too much, but we'll stay away from that. But with TikTok, it's weird. I have to be careful.
Yeah. Understand. I go live all the time too. God bless.
Yeah, so thank God I've been, because it's a show, I think they're leaving me alone. But the revelations, I'd like to know more about that, and the fact that your aunt was in the room when these people talked about that.
Oh God, the things I can tell you, man.
Then tell us at least one of the things you can tell us. I think it's a safe place to do it. I'm all about disclosure and busting the matrix, so let's go for it.
Well, some of the, how we did the moon landing and everything else. So
yeah.
Some of the video is of they made a real video, and they made a secondary video. The secondary video is what we seen, because they saw the spacecraft and everything. They did land on the moon, but they seen too much space people that
real space stuff.
Real space stuff, and drilling equipment on the far sides of the moon, and all this other stuff, that they had to make a video from the like a movie, you know what I'm saying, wag the dog type thing. So that's what we saw. We saw most of that. How people are like, this is legit, or this is a video. Some of it was spliced together with the videos, and some of it was because they did get on the moon, but Neil Armstrong, Gus Grissom, but they had a huge problem, because they thought make a video, because we didn't have the technology to send the video to, you know what I'm saying?
So the actual landing on the moon, we're talking about the dark side of the moon, correct?
Yes, dark side of the moon, not actual.
We're not talking about not the regular side of the moon.
No,
regular.
No. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, leading into what you're saying. So on the dark side of the moon, the astronauts were able to see that there were these extraterrestrials on the dark side of the moon, correct?
17 spaceships. Yes, that's what my aunt
17
told me.
spaceships. Interesting. The public doesn't even know this.
No, they don't. But if they find out who my aunt is and everything, they know who I am, then I'm in shit because, like I said, man,
Yeah, no,
I,
we're,
I I'm
we don't have to
100.
mention your we don't have to mention your aunt's name as long as we keep it general that way, but tell the truth in terms of the top secret information. And this is top secret information in terms of the fact that there were 17 spaceships that were
Absolutely.
extraterrestrial on the dark side of the moon,
And they
and you're
were
telling us this now. So go ahead.
yes, and well, I've had this. I've known this for such a long time, and I I'm just saying I've never had a opportunity to talk about it,
Mhm.
and I'm glad I am on your show. But like I said, it's insanity that no one's come out and said, "Hey, I want to know the truth," and everybody's so scared. You know, just everybody
Mm.
just wants to live in a fantasy world and say, "Hey, there is nothing. There, we're not being like. How the hell do you think? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
You know?
Well, let's face it, the public has been brainwashed,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that's why because I have a lot of knowledge. Even if sometimes when I talk to people that are in the DoD that I have contact with, they might say, "Commander, I can't give you all this information." I'll say, "You sometimes don't have to," because I'm in connection. I'm in contact with positive space people off planet. I've been in contact since I was a kid. And I've also, so for me, I'm a very different type of talk show host. I have a lot of knowledge. So when you tell me stuff, believe me, when you reveal stuff to me like you're doing, I feel honored that you're doing it because you're saying to yourself, we need to tell the people the truth of these things. And as long as we can give them the information that no one else on any other show or anywhere is giving them, that's important because that's what my show's about. Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. You know?
When I send you the obituary link, that's just for you only, and I'm going to ask
Right.
you. I'm going to send it through email and not here. I'm going to give you my
No,
email
just
DM.
a matter of fact,
Person.
I'll give you my email. Matter of fact, while we're on here, do you got a pen and paper?
No, not
My
not.
email.
No, I'm in my. No, could you DM me it?
I can direct message you on this
Yes,
after the
please.
show's over. Yeah, I'm following you, so I can do. If you send me a message, I'll message you back with the email
All right,
here
I'll
on
definitely
TikTok.
do that. But
Yeah,
like I
we'll do
said,
that. That's
and
easy.
you're gonna be like, wow, this guy,
Yeah.
like legit. And like I said, I just don't want government knowing that I know as much as I do because once they find out who my uncle is and once they know who my aunt is,
Well,
they'll be
yeah.
like,
This show
oh
is
shit,
this
this guy
this
knows.
show this show is protected by the Ashtar Command. When I go on here, my show is highly protected. And when I say that,
Remember what I told you with my aunt. My If he ever died at Area 51, they'd make it look like a car accident. So
right.
let me tell you that way.
Right.
you know.
But so don't worry. Definitely. They're more afraid of us than we should. I'm not afraid of anything.
Actually, no. Well, no. The government is not because they. I mean, look what they do in the political range. They're not scared of anything. They push people's buttons, and they make people divided, and it's
Only,
insanity.
but it only happens if people let it happen, and if that's what the society of the world has done. On my show, I empower people on this talk show because I've been doing radio for 20 years on NPR radio. I bust the matrix every time I'm on here. I personally have never cared about anything like that. I'm not afraid of anything. I do what I do. What you have to do is just realize you don't have to live in fear. Just empower yourself and realize that what you're doing is for the betterment of the whole planet. When you speak the truth, which you're on this show, you're well protected because now you've come on a show that's very, very popular and everyone's going to hear it. And a lot of my audience is believing everything you're talking about because you're telling the story of things that nobody else has heard before. And
And my
that's something.
Now, here's the thing, though. When my aunt was being questioned to go to Sanders before she met my uncle,
Right.
where she was living in Nashua, New Hampshire, uh, it's literally she had the FBI. Who else? She was telling me ask her what was it? Her neighbors about her seeing do you think she, they wanted to see if she was a Russian spy or whatever, so they were asking, do you think she loves America as much? And I was like, what? She was telling me about all the FBI, the CIA were asking her if she was pro America, because they wanted to see if they could trust her. You get what I'm saying? That was before, like right before she was inducted in Sanders, you know what I mean, from the Pentagon. They wanted to see how pro, um, the way she was talking and telling me, she wanted, that was strange in itself, but I guess they wanted to see whether or not she was pro America, if she was, there for America,
Yeah.
because they don't want all this technology getting out to other hands. But the thing is, though, Russia has this technology, some of the the UFO technology in
Oh,
its grasp.
there's a number of countries, but the bottom line for this is, and I want to make this as you're sharing this, is that in a year and a half, and my friend April and I have talked about this, and it's going to happen, and it's already been, the timeline is jumping up. So regardless of any of the countries, the Pentagon or China or Russia, what they have regarding reverse engineer technology or any of that stuff, those things what's going to be happening, people need to get ready for. And the most important thing they need to get ready for is there are positive space beings that are beings of light that come from other planets beyond Earth. And if we look at the bigger picture, which is very important to know, there's going to be contact it's already starting. I've interviewed numerous people in the last number of months that are having physical contact with star people, meaning men and women from other planets. And people need to get ready for something way bigger than whether the Pentagon is going to do something to somebody. It's going to be irrelevant, because what's going to be happening is right now, the Pentagon is scared, and so are these other people involved in these programs. They might not tell you they're scared, but they are scared, because the thing is, there are positive forces coming to Earth that are going to change the whole way we live on this planet. This happens to be a fact. And because of that, these people are hiding in bathrooms, and they're not actually physically hiding there. My analogy is people in the Pentagon are scrambling, the old timers that want to keep everything under wraps. Though they're a breed of people that have no control of what's happening off planet right now. There are forces, there are fleets of ships coming to Earth, and they know they're coming. And there's nothing that they will be able to do to stop what's going to be happening.
Anunnaki.
Not just the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are part of the Ashtar Command. They're one part of it. There's a whole part of it, and I am very connected to that. I've been connected since I woke up when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was called until I grew up older as an adult. But I'm very connected telepathically to the Ashtar Command, and I have connections. My friend April, she's been going on the ships over 30 times now up in Vermont. There's a whole plan that's going to be happening. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing something pretty soon. Once they agree on it off planet, the councils, I will be doing potentially something else here.
These beings want us to be a formation of a one government rule. That's what they want. The Federation, just like the Star Trek movies, they want that because they want us to enlighten ourselves. They want us to evolve. And that's the only way they will show themselves completely. If not, there's other beings out there that do not like us, that want to rule over us, and that's the.
And let me get into that. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So the Ashtar Command, which I work with, we're rounding up all those beings that don't want us to be able to ascend into a spiritual level of light. They're being rounded up. There are places, without saying specific locations, in country areas where there are spaceships of the Ashtar Command that are being used to take the reptilians, take other negative ETs that have been hiding on our planet for years. They're now being taken off the planet. This happens to be a fact. I'm sharing it on my show. People need to know this. This is happening right now as I speak. These beings are being taken off. These negative ETs, they're not going to be on this planet. They're being taken off. The planet is now shifting its vibrational pattern, as in our universe, all the planets are actually, not just the solar system, but in the universe as a whole, we just happen to be here, so we got to talk about Earth. We are going to go into a situation within a year and a half where there's going to be more contact on Earth with people than even anyone ever could imagine. And people need to get centered. People need to turn their TVs off and stop watching all this garbage, and need to get centered and get prepared for this stuff. And that's what's going to happen.
The beings though are very worried that we're going to end up like Mars, like the nuclear waste that happened there. It's just they feel.
And when Mars, just you mentioned Mars made a mistake because they were playing with technology millions of years ago that messed up their planet. It didn't destroy the planet. It did mess it up. But Mars, actually, if you look at the pictures of Mars has a blue atmosphere. If you look at the sky of Mars, it's the reason why it's blue. It has a breathable atmosphere now, which has been that way for quite some time. There's about 10 to 15 million inhabitants living on Mars. Some of the Martian people live on the surface now. Now, millions of years ago, they had to go underground, and they were able to do agriculture, and they are vegetarians, and they were able to figure out what they did wrong, and they are able, again, their waterways are reversed. They're under the surface. They have a polar cap on Mars, just like on Earth. They have waterways. They have all kinds of stuff on Mars, and they have a vibrant civilization, which the Earth-based scientists will tell you historically that Mars is a dead planet. It's not a dead planet. It's a lie. The whole scenario of Mars being dead. It did go through some problem. It went through some major problems millions of years ago, but they had the consciousness to correct what they made a mistake doing. They used the technology that they thought was going to be helpful, and it wasn't. So they are way better off now than they were when that happened.
There's also insight of some aliens or some beings that killed the dinosaurs themselves and dragged a asteroid to let us replenish this with the death of the dinosaurs and everything. But I mean, there's a lot of thoughts and processes in the Area 51 and all these Pentagon and thoughts of all these scientists. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And someone's asking me, how do they prepare for contact? So the way for many of you to prepare for contact is, number one, turn your TVs off. Don't watch the news. The news is a repetitive cycle of fear-based stuff. There are things going on. Yes, there are things going, but they only show you what they want to show you on your news media around the planet. When contact happens, and it will, there's going to be a potential for what's going to potentially happen, I must say this now, is that the Ashtar Command has the ability to take over every broadcast station on the planet. Now, when I say this happens to be a fact. Every station, every major media, be it China, Netherlands, England, wherever, it doesn't matter where you are, United States, Canada, Central South America, it makes no difference. All the transmitters in every country around the world can be taken over, the broadcast transmitters. And when that time comes, the Ashtar Command will be able to broadcast to every country and every language, and you're going to, for the first time, hear the truth from the star people that you've been not hearing, because our governments of the world, not just one government, every single major government involved in this cover-up has been doing it for over 70 years of current Earth time. That's going to change.
Yep, it's because they're trying to control us and keep us from knowing the truth, and it's kind of getting annoying, to be honest with you. And I would love to have the whole USA or the whole world just stand up and say, we want to know what the truth, and we're not going to be scared of the truth. We want to know what's going on. But like I said, there's so many people they're in their plausible denial of, hey, I don't care. I don't want to, I don't want to stand up.
Right.
I just want to.
They're basically asleep.
Yes, they want to keep being asleep, and until it's too late, until it's like, oh, okay, something really is going on, and we wasted our time. So
right. But it's all good. Like in 1977, somebody mentioned this would be true. I'm very familiar with what happened in 1977 in England on the ITN news. In 1977, the Ashtar Command came through in a regional way. They didn't broadcast all over the world. For whatever reason, they chose to do it. And that's an area also where historically the crop circles have been forming every year. These crop circles, not the ones that are man-made, the ones that are imprinted on the crops every year. The ITN network had a takeover of their network, which was from the Ashtar Command, a being called Villaron. It's a true story, and it interfered as much as it could to bring a message to the people of Earth, and that was early on. But if the Ashtar Command wants to, it will be able to take over every TV transmitter, every cable channel, news network, every single station around the world. And when I tell you this is the absolute truth. When it happens, if that happens to be needed to be done, we will be able to broadcast on every channel, take over every news channel and every regular station, ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever it might be, as an example, and a broadcast will come through the screen of the space people of the Ashtar Command, who will eventually speak to everyone on Earth and tell you the truth of the lies you've been told on your planet about people on other planets beyond Earth. And
Just like the Superman movie. Just like the Superman movie with the newer just one with the Superman 1 movie where General Zod comes on and says you have a someone that's been with you, walking with you, and we want him back. Remember that one with the General Zod wants Superman? Yep, just like that. And they have the technology, and that's why they have the drone right in our outer solar system. That one that it's called the Black Knight or something like that, the Dark Knight or something. You ever heard about that?
Yeah.
That they have a drone to monitor this world, and they have the technology to bring back radio waves. You know what I mean? No one could get next to it. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, and
No, I do.
one more thing. This makes a lot of sense what you're saying, because when my uncle was talking about three spaceships, you had to have pure what was it? Enlightenment in order to walk into it. If not, you get like sick or something like that. You have to be enlightened, like somebody from Gandhi would be able to walk into one of these spaceships and actually touch the screens and stuff, meaning like somebody with pure enlightenment, because some people just regularly they got sick when they got into these spaceships and stuff, so when they
Yeah,
walked
of
into them.
course.
So go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's why.
Sorry.
I was going to say, well, I want to thank you for being on again, and give me your first name, Kevin.
Kevin.
God, I remember your name. I took memory training years ago, so there you go.
I will
But
message you, and I will send you the link, and then you will see that I am telling 100% truth.
I know you're telling the truth. I wouldn't have you on if I didn't know that. I'm glad with the revelations of things about your aunt and everything, about the 25 spaceships on the dark side of the moon. This is disclosure. This is a beautiful thing. This is what my show is about. We're about busting the matrix. Everyone knows me. I have no fear of anything. I'm well protected by our space brothers and sisters of the Ashtar Command, and I work with the Ashtar Command. I come from off planet, so I have no fear whatsoever. And everything I do is to bust the matrix, is to tell the truth, is to have people share their stories. And Kevin, I appreciate you so much, man.
Thank you so very much. Well, I hope to God I come on some another time, but thank you so very much. Whenever I give you the information next time you're on, just there you go. Send me on up. Have a good one.
Well, you're now a friend of the show. You're hopefully going to watch us a while, and we thank you, man, for being here.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed night. God bless.
You too, as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And I tell you, we've had some great guests tonight. It's been quite a show. It's now 2:08 in the morning, and we got on here about 11:06 p.m. Eastern. We might do one more interview. Let me see here. Are we going to do it? Let's see. I'm going to bring this person on. We'll do one more. Let's see if they're still here. Hey, Scrubs. Yes. How are you? Are you with us? She might have fallen asleep trying to wait to get on here. Shrubs UFO USA, are you with us? I think they're not with us. Wow. Let's see. April sent a ship to your home yesterday. Beautiful. We'll do like one more interview. Please give me a comment as to what you want to share. You have to be over 18, no kids on the screen, no smoking, no drugs, no drinking, no foul language, and no talk of any paranormal stuff. Michael says, I've been twice or more abducted. Michael, if you want to come up on the show, we'd love to have you, and you can talk about that. You'll be my last guest for the night, I think, pretty much. Let me see if Michael's here. Actually, I'm going to bring. I don't know what happened to Michael. It's been an interesting show tonight. Michael's there, and let's see. Is Friends with Fairies here? I thought I saw Friends with Fairies here. I got a feeling there's some information coming.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I'm echoing on your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You didn't know that. If people don't know who April is, she's my friend, like a sister in Vermont. She's been on our spaceships of the command for over 30 times. If you don't know the story, I'm sure many of you don't, because you're new probably to the show. We work with the Ashtar Command. We are Ashtar Command, actually, besides a talk show host for over 21 years. I've been a contactee myself. April is a contactee, and also the Ashtar Command. And we're actually echoing over her phone. It happens sometimes. I'm not sure. But so the space people we're in contact with are human. They look just like us, the Ashtar Command that I speak of. And April and I work together with, and there's actually a couple of other people in our group, Kit Kat, who's here tonight. I think she's still on. Also Johnny, and also Chesno. There's 5 of us here that are going to be together, eventually going, in less than a year, we'll be going off planet onto an Ashtar Command spaceship. So this is going to be a real physical thing. We're not going to be projected by any kind of dream state. This is really going to be something that's really going to happen. And yeah. So I'm going to switch it over to April.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about the echo. I turned the Bluetooth off. I don't know what happened. I'm on the other phone. It's echoey for some reason, but I apologize, guys. But yeah, so tonight I was actually out doing mission work with our space family. Yeah, we were out rounding up some reptilians tonight. They have been, yeah, they had me go with them to do this. And so there was a nest. There was when she was talking about me having sending ships out there, I actually went with them, and there was she had talked about having rock underneath her land, underneath her woods. And boy, she wasn't kidding. There's some pretty large caverns down there, and there was about 60 of those guys down there that were rounded up. And tonight we went down to finish closing down. They had like tunnels all over the place down underneath her property. These guys are just sneaky. They had so much tunnel systems going underneath her property, but the Ashtar Command was there. We closed it down. We got everything straightened out. They're going to be monitoring her property for the next 30 days, just to make sure that these guys don't try to sneak back around. But we closed everything down, and these guys were rounded up and taken to the holding spot, and they're being questioned tonight. So
Yeah, and so that is interesting.
yeah.
If you, I think, if you want to mute for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because she has two phones, so sometimes I'm not sure which phone this is, but this phone is echoing. So this is what I was talking about before. What we're doing is we're rounding up the reptilians all over the planet. They are sneaky, and they are hiding in different parts of the world because they're trying to stay here to do the stuff they've done to humans for a long time, which is they've abducted humans, they've mistreated human beings. The reptilians, we have we're basically rounding them up. So what you're hearing is some true information. April goes on our Ashtar command ships regularly. We'll be joining her in probably less than a year. There's another 4 of us with her to make a group of 5. We will be joining her in less than a year. Well, probably less than that. But again, we send the ships to where we need to help people. I've done that too. We send the ships over with the Astra Command, and we've actually taken the reptilians and brought them to the places where they're going to be taken off planet. They're interrogated about what they were doing, and they are very sneaky. The reptilians, they're not a large population on our planet, but they are being taken off and found, and because they've been doing problems for a lot of people over the past 70 years on Earth, probably longer than that, but they are being rounded up now on our planet. And as April was talking about the story that just happened, she was taken on the ship to help the command in terms of seeing, going to these caverns under this person's area and getting the reptilian. 60 of them were taken off by the command, rounded up, and now they're at a holding area where they're going to be most likely sent off planet. I'll turn it back to April.
Yeah. So they're being questioned tonight. And then after their question, they were going to be escorted off the planet. So they didn't want to go to the portal, which we knew they wouldn't because they're chickens. They just want to create fear and create havoc. So they're going to be escorted out after they are done being interrogated tonight. So that's a really good thing. This poor woman, like her fairy protectors were out there just trying so hard to keep these guys at bay from her and her family. But they were out there doing a really good job. The fairies were. So I'm really proud of them because they were really fighting for her family. And they were doing a good job as to keep them, at bay. But these guys were, getting real slick and trying to get into this woman's house, and they were just doing a lot. But so they will be escorted out tonight. And they're going to be the Ashtar Command is going to be hanging out there for about 30 days to make sure these guys don't try to sneak back in. The tunnels were closed down, everything was closed down, so that's a really good thing. This woman has nothing more to worry about. She's got a couple guards placed inside of her home, and throughout her property, that are going to be watching out for things for her. Because that was a good group of them in there.
No, it has to be done because when something like that happens and she gets assistance of her fairies, that was helpful. But then the Astro Command came in and helped her. That's even more powerful.
Yeah. So they're there, and they're going to be there for the next 30 days, keeping an eye out for her, which is really good. So I'm real happy that they, had the time to do all this, and they I'm glad they did because they got 60 of those guys. It was probably a little more than 60 of them, but I'm guesstimating it was 60 of them. There was a lot. There was a lot of them.
And that's what we do. Are both your phones echoing tonight, or is this phone?
It's just this phone.
Can we switch to the other phone?
Yeah, I'll switch.
Okay. We're gonna switch to the other phone. Let me just mention that. Let me just mention that the Ashtar Command. For those of you who are not familiar with what's happening here, Ashtar Command people, the ships go where her property was, this woman's property, and they go right into the caverns where the reptilians were. And the Ashtar Command, they're afraid of the reptilians are afraid of the Ashtar Command. And the Ashtar Command rounds them up, and they take them on a ship where they surrender. They're not going to do anything but surrender, and they're taken to a holding station where they will be taken off planet after they're interrogated. These reptilians will be sent on a ship that'll be programmed to go off planet. They'll never be able to come back, and they're on a one-way ticket off planet. They're on a one-way ticket out of here. Space cuffs, yeah, basically. And when April gets on the other phone, she can explain that a little bit more without the echo. And her and I work together. I'm in Connecticut. She's in northern Vermont, near the Canadian border. The Ashtar Command has a major base in the mountains where she is, and we're working very closely to let you know things that are happening regarding what's going on with the reptilians, and we are definitely rounding them up and taking them off planet. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know where my cat is. Yeah, no politics, folks. We don't talk about politics on here. And that's interesting. Okay, let's see if April's phone works. Welcome to the show. We'll have her on here. Her phone is now, it's now trying to come on. Here she is. Oh, there we go. Are you there? I don't even hear any voices, no microphone or anything. Oh, there you are. TikTok was a little bit slow. Can you hear me? Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Oh, that phone's echoing a little bit.
Is it better now?
Now it's better. No more echo. There we go. Now it's good. So this is my friend April. If you've not met her, she and I work together with the Ashtar Command, and she's been over 30 times off planet. And she was just describing a story where we helped one of the people that have watched her and watched me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Don't tell me you cannot hear me. You can hear me, correct? I hear you. Let me see what's going on with her microphone. Yeah, your mic's on and I can hear you. Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. Very much me. Yeah, very
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me? You
Thank you.
can hear me, correct? I hear you. Let me see what's going on with her microphone. Yeah, your mic's on and I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, there's still an echo happening. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's not as bad, but it's definitely there. Yeah. Sometimes what happens is because the Ashtar Command's watching our show, and her phones, they can actually they actually can somehow affect the phones, and when they affect the phones, then I echo on her phone. So that's what's happening. I'm going to bring April back up here. Let me try to do this here. Hold on a minute. Let me do this again. I'm going to try to bring her back up and see if that happens. They actually can somehow. Oh, my cat. Now she's not even on yet, and I'm echoing. Am I echoing now? No, I don't think so. Hello there, Missy. You want to say hello? Okay, let's see here. Okay, I've got her. No, I'm not going to do that. So now I got to re-bring her back on. This is very strange. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna do this here, and then I'm going to re-invite her on here. Hold on a minute. These things do happen, folks. Let's see. Why am I having problems? April, can you hear me? We're going to bring her back on. I hope both of her phones are not doing this. Let's see here. Echo on her phone. So that's what's happening. April, you there? Very strange. Now I've got her. I invited her, and now I don't see her. Okay, we need the Ashtar Command people to intervene here and get the phone straightened out here so she doesn't echo. This happens on our show, once in a while. She has two phones, one of which there'll be an echo, and they use that phone to communicate, and the other phone. So then now it looks like both phones are being that way. Let me see here. That's really weird. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to see if I can get her on here. Let's see. All right, I just pressed the invite button on TikTok. Now I'm going to see if I can bring her on. April, if you can hear me, try to come on. And I pressed my invite button like I normally do to bring her on the show. Now I can't even see her. Oh, okay, the Ashtar Command has to intervene here and help me a little bit get her on here. We need some help from our space family. Maybe, maybe not. Mm-hmm. Well, just to let you know, I don't think she went off planet just now. I think she's still here. Hold on a minute. Okay, now we're going to do this. Okay. I just invited her back on. No. I just invited her back on. We'll see. It's the phone thing. She has to switch phones. No, she's here. Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Wow.
We'll make do.
The internet has been really bad tonight. I don't know what's going on. People have been complaining all day.
Yeah. So bear with us. If you hear me echoing on her phone, bear with us. So we'll be all right. I got my earpods on. So anyway, as we were talking about, we talked about the reptilians. Anything else that you'd like to, Sister, share with our audience tonight? Sister, share with our audience tonight?
No, I just
Nope. Can you hear me?
doing a number on this woman and her family. You know,
do you have any earpods, April?
Yeah, I can hear you. They connect up to it, it won't work. I mean, it doesn't, hang on.
She's trying to fix it. Yeah, I think there's some internet problems. It's internet related, so it's definitely internet. She's up in the northern part of Vermont, so there could be some internet problem issues tonight. It's almost 2:30 in the morning. You're watching Encounters. This has been a really incredible night. I want to thank everybody here. We're going to try to get April back on here. And we will. Oh, thank you, Thomas. We appreciate that. We appreciate everybody out there. I do have a goal. I do have a hat. I've set a goal here. I'm going to pin the goal. The hat with the mustache is a goal. And if I can get people to support the show, become a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, please become one. Also, you can go to my Venmo account and do a donation of $5, $10, or $15 on my Venmo. Or if you're a TikToker, in terms of TikTok coins, you can also do a TikTok gift to show your support for the work we're doing here on Encounters tonight. Okay? So we'll see what happens here. And if we don't get to talk with our sister, certainly thank you for the roses. We appreciate all the gifts. You guys and gals are amazing. I'll try one more time. And we never give up. The one thing about me is technology, and I never give up with technology. So it could be an internet problem. That's okay, Thomas. When you have something to give, that's fine as long as you're here. Heather, thank you for the finger heart. We appreciate that too. And it's just great to have everybody here. So thank you so much. Excuse me. River Blues, thank you, brother. I just wish April's phone would not do that. Let's see here. I just pressed the invite button. We'll see what happens. You're watching Encounters. This has been a show that's on at a little after 11 o'clock East Coast. And we've had some phenomenal guests on the show. I'm backlogged by about 3 shows now. I'm backlogged with this show. All my shows are on YouTube. So if you want to watch any previous shows, everybody go to my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You can hear our shows that we hear live, are recorded on that YouTube channel. I'll be putting 3 more shows. This will be the 4th one. I'm backlogged by about 4 programs here, but we'll get those on there. And it looks like, yeah. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, I think it's the internet, I'm not able to, what I'm going to do is try to, so I'm just playing around with the technology here. So I'm going to have April press the request button to come on. April, I want to see if that works, and have her press the request button on the multiple guest icon, and then I'm going to bring her up and see if that works. Yeah. And if not, we'll do this tomorrow night. It's getting kind of late. Okie dokie, let's see what happens here. We just press the invite button. Oh, reset the router? April, you might want to reset the router. Well, actually, she's on her cell phone, so, So a lot of people are having trouble with the internet or TikTok. could be happening. All right. It looks like we're having technical problems here. And so I'm going to thank everybody for being here. April, my sister, we'll have her back on here. And we'll be able to share more information. Yeah. Well, they took her earlier, Tammy. They took her earlier tonight. So she's back. No, she's actually back from where she was taken. And I'm playing around with the TikTok thing here. And I keep pressing the button. Normally when I press it, I'm really giving my energy here to see if I get her back on. I'm inviting her on through the TikTok thing, but I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll have April on tomorrow night. April, if you can hear me, we'll have you on tomorrow night. Evidently TikTok is not cooperating. All right, everybody. I want to send my love to all of you. Thank you for watching the show. We've got over 108,000 likes, so I appreciate it. Linda, thank you. We send our love out to everybody, and we'll keep you in tune. I'm going to get some needed rest here after having all these interviews. Much love to everybody. Love for peace. Take care. Everybody out there, wherever you are, be well. And much love from the things we are about to do here, the things that we can be, the things that we will be. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Join us tomorrow night at 11.